Welcome everybody to another BDA Boxing podcast, broadcasting to you live from the true north. This is your friend Mr. BDA, and alongside with me as always my co-host, the one, the only King, Bucho. King, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. So lots to talk about. I'm glad everybody could be here to enjoy this nice Sunday programming. I hope everybody went to church this Sunday in the morning, and then you got to enjoy the rest of the day. Don't forget to give the Lord thanks for everything that we have. Some good boxing, always to be thankful for that. Right now we're in the season where every weekend there's a little something of boxing for everybody. So thanks everybody for joining us. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to BDA Live as well as this channel. Don't forget to check out our Patreon page and our PayPal account if you want to keep this gravy train rolling. All right. So before I forget and before we get this party of degenerates who won't let us get a word in edgewise, let's give thanks and a shout out to all the other degenerates in the chat room. I want to give a shout out to Zapata Boxing, New Day, Chris Gonzalez, Cachinello Give Me My Fight, The Punisher, Shepherd of Sons, Jason Bourne is always in there, keeping things real, Apology Man, Koran Bread, Cameron Gillen, or as I like to call him, Gillian. I think it sounds more biblical, much more epic. And many more people to come, I am sure. I want to give Overhand, of course, can't forget Overhand, Rasclot222, Rod Rook Davis, good to hear from you too, buddy. John Gonzalez, Violence News Network, Pop Tart Gone, Saint Brit. All right, so guys, thank you for joining us. Well, of course, we're going to be talking about the fight, the main event that happened last night on ESPN. Sergey Kovalev regaining his title. Or was there a title, by the way? I don't even pay attention to that.
Yeah, WBO.
WBO. All right, thanks, Bucho. And of course, there was also an undercard. Nice, entertaining fights. And there was also a guy named Cheeseman that everybody was talking about last night during the podcast. I wasn't there, obviously, last night's podcast, but I saw in the comment section, everybody was talking about Cheeseman. I don't know who the fuck Cheeseman is, Bucho.
Who the fuck is Cheeseman?
I don't know. Sounds like Method Man from The Wire. The character he used to play there, Cheese. That's what comes to mind with me. I don't know what these people are talking about, so hopefully somebody can give us an update on that. Before we continue, I said I'm glad that we have a lot of boxing. I'm glad that ESPN, Showtime, The Zone, Fox, they're all showing boxing. But Bucho. Oh, and by the way, I like the ESPN commentary. I don't like too much the word Kellerman dynamic that's going on there, but we'll get to that later. But I like the commentary. I like the production values of the ESPN. I like the fights. What I don't like, why the fuck did they need to start the fights so late? They said midnight, right? Teofimo Lopez versus the other, his opponent. My mind is going blank, but Teofimo Lopez's fight started at midnight, and it didn't end until some 35 after midnight. And then by 12:45, the fight hadn't even started yet. The main event, the fighters hadn't even entered the ring. For Pete's sakes, I was too damn tired. I need my 8 hours of beauty sleep to keep this beautiful face going. It's my bread and butter, and I had to go to sleep. Couldn't stay up to watch it. How about you, Bucho?
Yeah, I saw the fight.
No, but I mean live.
The next day.
The next day. All right, you got to keep up with me.
Yeah,
here, Bucho.
no,
Come
fuck
on.
it, man. I went to sleep, man. That's insane, man. I don't know how the British people do it when they stay up until, 4 a.m., 5 a.m. to watch a fight. That's insane, man.
That's what I was going to say. How the fuck does Cameron and Stu, they stay up till 5 in the morning? Sometimes it's we stay up watching fights here at about 12, midnight. And they're still going in the chat room, which means over there it's about 5 in the morning. I don't know how they do it. It's insane. No. They got to start the fights earlier, man. I'm going to send them an email, and I'm going to say, listen, this is BDA, and I need you to start the fights earlier, all right? Do me a solid. You know what I'm going to do, Butch? I'm going to go up to Bob, and I'm going to go, you know what, Bob? I need an ask. And he's going to go, what do you need, BDA? Anytime.
Yeah, an ask.
Like John Gonzalez says, their bad. He talking about Brits. Their bad teeth help them with that, Bucho.
Jesus Christ!
They got a fucking chainsaw in their mouths. Overhand says Bucho passed out for sure. yeah, you were. Savannah Boxing says Bucho, it's called cocaine, bro. New Day says Stewart never sleeps. Shepherd of Sun says Kovalev is trying to cross the border with his title now before the police get him. Kovalev looked good, says Kwan. Box 88, shout out to Box 88, says overhand props. I believe you're also pulling for Kovalev. All right, before everybody gets in here, Bucho, let's. Do you have the predictions that people made last night?
Yeah, but I left. I don't have the paper with. Like, listen, everybody got it wrong. So what's the point? Everybody's like round 8, round 9. Nobody got it correct.
Well, Reverse Lee was in the. First of all, let me clarify that Reverse Lee apparently. I know he wasn't there last night, but he said that in the Google Hangouts chat, he said he didn't pick Alvarez, and I didn't make a prediction because I wasn't there last night, so I didn't get to make a prediction. However, if I may toot my own horn, the subject of that last podcast I was in on Wednesday, I did bring up the question about how many people are too quick to jump on the this guy's shot, this guy's passed it, this guy's finished narrative. And now people are too quick to jump on that. And like I said, people were forgetting that Kovalev was winning the fight or doing pretty well against Alvarez before he got stopped in the first fight. So let that be a lesson to everybody. Do not jump
but
on
you
the
didn't make a prediction.
Was that?
You didn't make a prediction.
No, but I said, listen, I'm not jumping to conclusions. I'm not being an alarmist. Because there were people that's the thing that irks me. Okay, if you want to say this guy's past it or something, fine, I can agree with that. But when people were saying, oh, he better retire, he's going to get hurt, and he's going to get, listen, this is a guy who used to collect money for the mob, like Jimmy said last night. This is a guy whose hobby is to go around beating up women and dogs and drinking vodka. You think he really cares, or we should worry too much about him, about the risks he's taking? He's a big boy. He can take care of himself. What do you think about that?
Well, you've convinced me. No, but seriously, man, you didn't make a prediction. You knew that, or you thought that Kovalev was gonna lose, just like most of us.
Whoa, whoa! What, do you have any proof to back that up, Bucho? Or are you just talking out of your hairy ass again?
Oh God,
that's right.
All right, no, so
I'm calling you out, Bucho. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, I didn't make a prediction here, but yeah, I thought Alvarez was gonna win, and I was gonna say that I could have stayed and watched this fight live, stayed up and watched this fight, but I just didn't see a reason why I should do it because, in my opinion, Alvarez was going to win again. In my opinion,
really?
Kovalev's shot, yeah. So he proved me wrong. Kovalev proved me wrong. He proved most of us wrong, and yeah.
You don't have any idea of the facts.
That's right, Bucho. You don't. And I tell you something. Let's talk about the fight itself, Bucho. Kovalev did a lot of good things in this fight. A lot of good things. He looked quicker than in the last fight. He kept the distance very well, controlled the range, didn't allow Alvarez to counter. Because you could tell from the first round on, Alvarez was trying to lure Kovalev inside the mid-range so he could counter him with some overhand rights, some left hooks. It seemed like Kovalev knew that was coming, and so he would always take a little step back and he stuck to his jab. I gotta tell you, Bucho, Kovalev has to have one of the best jabs in boxing, if not the best.
Yes.
I know people are gonna say it might be Golovkin with the best jab, but Kovalev
his jab was winning him the second fight against Ward.
Yeah,
obviously before he got stopped. That jab was winning the fight for him. He's an extremely good boxer, and people forget. He beat Andre Ward the first time. He was beating him the second time, and he was also beating Alvarez in the first fight until he got stopped. So this guy, nobody has ever really dominated Kovalev if you think about it.
That's an interesting point. Now that you mention it, like he can be stopped, especially if you hit him in the nuts. But whether you can outbox him, that's a good point, Bucho. We've never actually seen him comprehensively outbox. We've seen people being able to keep up with him, boxing-wise, but never comprehensively outboxed. That's a good fucking point.
Yeah.
Which brings us to Bivol, Gvozdyk, and some of the other top light heavyweights. Can they outbox Kovalev? Because evidently he showed up in shape last night. He did, slow down a little bit. But then he got his second win, which is a sign of a guy that's no longer going around beating on puppies and drinking vodka. What did you think? Did you think he stamina-wise, he closed the show pretty well in the 12th?
Yeah. We have to give credit to Buddy McGirt as well. Kovalev is already a good fighter, but I think he just lacked discipline. So I don't know. It seems like Buddy McGirt kind of brought him back to the. Well, actually, before the fight, Kovalev said he was going to go back to the basics. Now, whether he was his plan to go back to the basics or it was Buddy McGirt who told him that, I don't know. But Kovalev knew that he needed to go back to the old to his old ways, basically. Uh, and by the way, he probably had issues with what was his name again? The other trainer,
John David Jackson.
Yeah, we knew he had issues with him, and so you're gonna have a shitty training camp when you're arguing with your fucking trainer.
Yeah.
So listen, man, he's like reborn now.
All right, two things here. Overhand in the chat room says Buddy was telling him not to push the action too much and box him. So, Buddy McGirt, that's the thing. We've often talked about here about how much of a difference can a good trainer make and what makes a good trainer, and how certain trainers, they go through a hot period where everybody wants to be on board with them, and then all of a sudden some of them lose some steam. Virgil Hunter comes to mind lately. When Ward beat Dawson, everybody wanted to be with him. Angulo, Berto, Khan. All of a sudden, he lost a little steam. McGirt was that way. In 2002, 2004, when he was revitalizing Johnny Tapia's career, Arturo Gadi's career, Antonio Tarver, when he knocked out Roy Jones, everybody jumped on the Buddy McGirt wagon. Then after a while, he started losing some steam. In fact, there was a point where it became a joke, a running joke, that he would stop fights too soon. Remember that? He did that a couple of times with Malignaggi. Do you think now that Kovalev's been, I guess, reborn, if you want to put it that way, think some more fighters are going to start jumping back on the McGirt bandwagon?
Good question. Yeah, probably. Well, we'll have to see. Let's see how Kovalev performs in his next fight, and yeah, maybe Buddy McGirt's going to be a hot commodity again. Remember after when he was with Arturo Gatti, man, everybody was talking about Buddy McGirt, man. Yeah,
even Fernando Vargas jumped on the Buddy McGirt bandwagon. Panchito Bojado, remember he lost early on in his career, and he went with McGirt. So it's McGirt's always been a good trainer. He's because he was always the type of fighter that would have made a good trainer. He wasn't the most fast fighter when he was active. He wasn't the most strong, the hardest puncher, but he was very technical, and that's the type of trainer that you want.
And you can take that to the bank and collect interest on it.
I'm telling you the truth here.
And God bless you for that.
I know, but listen, the point is this. I think so. Buddy McGirt, he's the one that trains Lipinets, who's another very good fighter. Maybe not the top junior welterweight in the world, but certainly one of the best, and you can see that McGirt's influence has really shown on him. New Day says, in what place does a Buddy McGirt bandwagon exist? Well, it might be coming, New Day. You just never know. Oh. Undercover Asian just donated through the super chat. Shout out to Undercover Asian, one of our premier fans who's always keeping the gravy train rolling. He says, Kovalev started to rock Alvarez in the 12th, in my opinion. I agree. And not just because you donated, but because it's interesting. Bucho, if somebody doesn't know shit about boxing and they would have seen Kovalev last night, they would have thought, whoa, this guy's not that big a puncher. Because Alvarez was doing a good job of blocking the shots. Like, it didn't seem like they were hurting him. But then by the 12th round, his nose was bleeding. He was getting depleted. He was getting his head snapped back. So evidently the punches, even though he was blocking them, it didn't look like it. But Kovalev still has those heavy hands, and they were landing pretty hard. And what did you think? Did you think that Alvarez was almost ready to go, like, worn down from everything?
Possibly. Yeah, he was getting a bit beat up, but I don't know. It seems like Kovalev didn't want to really go all out. I mean, and try to finish the job. He was content with just doing what he was doing the whole fight. Just outboxing him basically and beating him up a bit. But possibly he would. I'm not sure. But I'm telling you, man. At some point, I thought Kovalev was gonna get tired.
Yeah.
And because he was starting to fade a bit, I was like, oh shit, here we go again. He's doing a great job, and then boom, he's gonna fade and he's gonna get caught and he's gonna go down. But that didn't happen. So.
John Gonzalez just donated to the super chat as well. Shout out to John Gonzalez, and he says, haha, I beat you undercover. Wait a minute. As much as everybody enjoys keeping the gravy train rolling, we don't want this to turn into a competition. All right? This isn't like, all right, I got a 50, 54 here, 55 here. Who's got 25? Who's got 99? No, we're not going to do that. All right? Bucho, yeah, you mentioned that about Kovalev getting tired. It seems that way, doesn't it? That he's still... All right, by the way, shout out to John Gonzalez. It does seem like Kovalev is a little bit Like it's almost like it's gonna take somebody with grit to get through his punching power, and they're gonna be able to wear him down. The question is, who can walk through that punching power? Because evidently he still has the speed, the timing, and the heavy hands.
You know what? Now I think Kovalev beats Beterbiev. Because Beterbiev has looked very basic lately, kind of stationary. But Bivol, I don't know. Bivol is another type of opponent. He's fresher, he's younger.
Those legs, you think those legs give him trouble?
Yeah, maybe has less power than Beterbiev, but he has all these other attributes that I just mentioned. So that would be a more difficult fight, in my opinion.
How about Gvozdyk?
Nah, I'd still pick Kovalev.
By the way, Undercover Agent says, "What's that song that just played? That's the Candyman by Sammy Davis Jr., right? Is that it, Bucho? Yeah.
I don't know who. It's a Candyman. I don't know who sings.
It's a version, but yeah, I don't know if that was a Sammy Davis Jr. You know, I can see how some women would find him attractive. That's a line from Goodfellas. You would know that, Bucho, because you still haven't seen a goddamn fucking movie.
Nah.
Anyway, I don't want to trash you on this show.
Hey, by the way, I added new donation alert. So there's one that's pretty fucking good, but he hasn't showed up yet.
Oh yes, the secret. It's the secret.
Yeah, I don't want to say it's a movie. Yeah.
All right, fantastic. Anyways. Good to know.
All right, so let me know when you want me to send the links.
All right, but the Punisher says BDA's Underground Railroad from Colombia to Canada passes under John Gonzalez's house. Now, you can't make a tunnel under John Gonzalez's house because it's got a bunch of bodies in there stuck in the ground, so you can't really barge through that.
There's already a basement there, yeah.
Johnny Boy says, whoa, Bucho has never seen Goodfellas? Oh, I just started a shitstorm. Nah, he's never seen it. He doesn't want to see it. He prefers to watch La La Land with Ryan Gosling and that redhead that looks like she's like 47 or something.
What the fuck is that?
I don't know. Bucho stinks, says John Gonzalez. Zapata Box says, Bucho, what the fuck? Are you even human? Whiskey Dragon says, Bucho's a fag. No, I'm kidding. He didn't say that. No, I'm kidding. Whiskey Dragon says, which prospect has a higher upside, Teofimo Lopez or Devin Haney? We're going to talk about that. But just a couple of more things about fucking Kovalev, Bucho. Looking at Kovalev's revitalization last night, do you think then that this sort of proves a little bit that 2014 Kovalev would have been able to beat 2014 Adonis Stevenson?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. No doubt in my fucking mind. Of course. I mean, just look at what Fonfara did to Stevenson. Stevenson, he was the longest reigning. No, he wasn't the longest reigning champion, but he was a reigning champion for so long. Yeah, of course. When you're fighting once every 2 years and like you fight sporadically like that, of course you're gonna be a champion for what 5 years or some shit. Come on, get out of here. Yeah, Kovalev would have out-jabbed him and then would have stopped him.
You know my take on that, Bucho? I think Stevenson would have made it extremely hard the first 8 rounds, just because of his power. But you saw
also Stevenson has a good jab as well.
Yeah,
well, not a jab, but it's a good jab, up and down,
But you see what Gvozdyk was able to do to him, and Kovalev does a lot of the things that Gvozdyk can do, and he's got power on top of that. So I think that what happened in the Gvozdyk fight would have been what would have happened to Stevenson if he would have fought Kovalev at any point in their careers. That's the way I see it. I could be wrong. Then again, we're never going to see that fight. Unless if Kovalev switches his hobby from stomping on dogs to stomping on paraplegics. Well, he's not paraplegic, but you know what I mean. Like, disabled people. Then we might see him, imagine the show where Kovalev goes around pranking people, sort of like Jackass. But instead, he always takes it a step too far and he just starts wailing on people. That would be a good show. Yeah. All right.
Hey, by the way, John Gonzalez says that he's going to send me one of his personal favorite homemade snuff films.
a John Gonzalez original. A Dino Velvet original. Isn't that John Gonzalez's name? His alternate ego when he does these movies? Dino Velvet?
Yeah, I think so, man.
Yeah.
And for some reason, instead of using a digital camera, he uses like 8mm.
He uses film. Creepy. He's one of the only guys that still uses film to preserve the grain and that cinematic quality to it.
Psycho.
And he works in the post office. Like can't get any more stereotypical than that. Johnny.
If someone's gonna go postal, it's John Gonzalez, man.
John Gonzalez, baby, I love you, but you gotta keep it together, man. All right, babe, keep it together. All right, Butcher, enough. That's a bit of a rant there. If you want to send the invites,
all right,
why don't you go ahead and do that? Meanwhile, I also want to talk a little bit about Teofimo Lopez. I didn't get to see, because apparently there was some after he knocked Magdaleno out. He did some antics, like a little showboating. I didn't see it because I was watching I was doing two things at the same time. I was watching the fight and I was looking at brochures for a Bible camp. So I couldn't really, I missed that part with the fucking showboating. But apparently people didn't like it. And I've been reading a lot of comments on message boards and all that. And I gotta tell you this. First of all, Magdaleno's the one that started barking at him during the fight. Now, whether somebody barks at you or not, the question remains: should you still showboat after you knock a guy down or out in that brutal fashion? All I can say is this is boxing, and to expect these guys who are fighting each other, trying to rip each other's heads off, and the adrenaline's pumping, it's kind of hard to expect them to behave, especially when they're young like Lopez, and especially since he's trying to jump on the McGregor bandwagon, the Broner bandwagon of being this abrasive personality to gain fans. That's essentially what he's trying to do. He said it himself. But the real question here is, people are blaming the ref for not having stopped the fight earlier. The corner really should get the blame as well. Apparently his corner was chastising him between fights. I mean, between rounds, saying, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, why aren't you taking this fight?" The guy was outmatched. Fucking Magdaleno is a guy he's not a great fighter. He's a fringe contender, you know, and well, fringe contender. Now he's a fringe contender. So they definitely should have stopped the fight. There was no way he was going to outbox Lopez. There was no way he was going to fucking stop him with one shot, outwork him, whatever. Good for him. The guy's got balls. But now he took a beating that might just take a couple of years off of his life. So just let's keep that in consideration. That's my point of view. Who do we got on the line? We got Johnny Boy on the line. Johnny Boy, how you doing, baby?
How you doing, brother? What's going on?
All right.
Watching this damn Super Bowl here. You know.
Oh man, I don't even know who's playing.
No, it's the New England, Jimmy's neck of the woods, and Los Angeles.
You know, I don't watch the NFL because it's slavery. It's modern day slavery, so I don't condone that. Hold on a second. Before we continue, let me just read a couple of the comments from the chat room. Chris Gonzalez says, "I've only seen another Lopez fight. Is he the real deal?" Overhand says Lopez is stepping it up. Magdaleno is experienced. Coran Brett says, shit, I can't read the comment. Coran says, great matchmaking by Top Rank, giving Teo fans that bloodbath. The ref was second to none. Yeah, that motherfucker was out of it. He was just enjoying watching the fight. The Fucktapus says, congrats to Crusher. Long may he reign. Pop Tart Gun says, Teofimo Lopez looks like a legitimate welterweight. Yeah, the guy looks big. Jason Bourne says, I like Lopez's attitude. He's not afraid of the Lomachenko hype. Shepherd the Son says, Bucho is a real coyote like the dog. Chris Gonzalez says, should have never left the corner for the 7th. Diego was already hurt. Shepherd the Son says, he's huge. He will be a welterweight one day. And so on and so forth. But that's the thing. That's what I enjoy. See, people were saying, what the fuck is Lomachenko going to do? He's got no big names. Garcia's moving up. Terence Crawford's is too big for him. Pacquiao's no longer with Top Rank. Who's he going to fight? Well, now look at this. He might just get a Tank Davis fight. And now Top Rank has this Lopez guy making the waves. So give him a couple more fights. It might just end up being a super fight in the future. You never know what's going to happen next in boxing. All right. So, Johnny Boy.
Yeah.
How about you give us your take on Kovalev Alvarez from last night? What did you think of the fight?
Well, he proved me wrong. I said Alvarez late stoppage, so he proved me wrong. I thought Kovalev was about done for, but he came back and showed me he still got something left. So that was good for him. I'm glad he made a little bit of a comeback there. You know.
Did it seem to you, like Butcher and I were saying, that he was dominating the fight and everything, but at some point did you expect him to wear down?
Well, that's part of the reason why I was like, oh, he's going to gas out late in the fight, and Alvarez is going to clip him with something. That's kind of like what happened in the first fight, bro. Right. Yeah, but yeah, hey man, if he's going to be 36 here soon, so he's got a couple more fights left in him. Who knows? We got to see BDA.
Yeah, Buddy Margaret seems to have gotten him back in circulation.
Oh, let me say one more. Jesus, Buddy McGirt put on some weight, didn't he? He looked like Uncle Fester from Adam's Family.
He looked like a black Uncle Fester, is what you're saying?
Yeah, black Uncle Fester.
Yeah, but listen.
I like Buddy McGirt, though. He was there with Arturo there at the end, and, you know, I like Buddy.
He's a good trainer, man. People slept on him after he started. His fighters started losing, but he's a top-notch trainer, and he showed that with Kovalev, and like I said, with Lipinets, he's been showing that. So there you go.
About Lipinets, that's right. Yeah.
Before we continue, let me just take care of something here. There we go. All right. So we also have. All right, we got Recognize, we got Apology, and we got Jimmy on the line. So you know what that means. We got some introductions to play here.
Reverse me.
Oh, wait a minute. Fuck no. No. Sorry. Let me back that up.
Don't get fooled when they tell you that the crime rate is down in New York. Every time I watch the local news, they're always talking about, well, there was a stabbing here, there was a stabbing there, there was a shooting there, but the crime is down.
We also got Jimmy.
I had a bad trip at a wedding in Maine, and it was a stormy night, right? I'm on LSD. Oh, I was fucking freaking out. It was horrible. I'll never take it again.
And like I said, we also have Apology.
What's going on, brother?
Big of the devil, and it shall appear.
She just wanted the drama and you two to fight over her. That's what women do.
Your punishment must be masturbate.
All of you.
Bitches are stupid. I treat them like shit. That's how you get one to eat a dick. Never be sweet to a bitch.
All right, gentlemen, thank you for being on board. Bucha, okay, because Bucha doesn't have the predictions here, but who amongst you? Oh, and we also have Gonzalo on the line and Cameron as well. Oh shit, another introduction. Hold on a second. Where's the fucking intro?
Fuck, mate, it's life, mate. You only live once. Make the most of life. Enjoy it. Because everybody's got their weird fetishes, man. And mine just happens to be eating fucking ass.
All right, gentlemen, thank you for being on board. What's that?
What's that, Cameron?
What's going on, man?
All right. Look,
well, hey, you don't have to look mine up, dude. I fucking shit the boot Chad, man. I had him in the 5th round. Yeah, 5th round KO. Oh, well, listen, you know how much I slept on Kovalev, to be honest with you? You know how little I paid attention to this fight? I had no idea Buddy McGirt was even training him. Oh. I had no idea. Swear to God, I was just so... And when I heard about the assault last year, I just pulled back. I didn't even care about him. But I do like... Johnny Boy said, I like Buddy a lot, man. I got to know him pretty good, you know, with the Toro and shit.
No kidding.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So fucking, he's a good guy, man. He really pushes. Like they talked about was true. I think it was, Kringle. Mark Kringle was talking about it, the basics. Listen, Buddy's all about that. He's like, everybody comes in, they want to. Buddy's from the old school thinking, too. Like, if you notice his fighters, you can't pick a fighter and say, that's a Buddy McGirt fighter. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like Joe Gallagher, for instance. They all have, you know what I mean, whether you're 6'2" or 5'7", you all got that same style. He takes, a good trainer takes a fighter and you know what I mean, fucking exposes his good attributes while hiding his negative flaws. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You don't try to fucking teach him your shit. So anyways, McGirt just basically, he always brings him back to the fundamentals. He gets a lot of guys who left other people, and he brings them back to the 1-2, which is always the best thing, catch somebody coming in. But Kovalev, it came down to obviously conditioning, because that's always been his thing. You know what I mean? I just didn't think, when I heard he whacked the chick, I thought he was partying. I thought his life was in fucking turmoil. I didn't know who he had as a trainer. So, I took it in the ass on that one.
Yeah. But listen, he didn't whack a girl. He just, he had to straighten her out. That's all he did.
I think we all had that mentality. I did too. I mean, I said because Kovalev, I thought Kovalev was partying and didn't really care about boxing because he has the skills to be a guy like Alvarez, but he didn't seem focused. But with Buddy McGirt, he seems focused now. He actually took it easy. I felt like he could have stopped Alvarez, but he didn't want to risk it.
I mean, he was throwing feints. I mean, you see the feints. He was dipping him in the 12th. He was still dropping his shoulder, and he was buying the feints. I mean, it was totally back to, like, you know what I mean? Buddy McGirt definitely worked it out with him. Mm-hmm. But Buddy doesn't take no shit either. Like he says, you know what I mean? This is the door. He kicks guys out all the time. He's like that. If you don't show me the respect, bang, you're gone. Because that's why Toro went to him too. Because remember, Toro was into heroin.
Oh,
I mean, he was. Oh yeah, no, he was shooting dope. I don't know if he was shooting it. I know he's definitely got into dope for a while. So yeah, he was all fucked up, rolling with the Hell's Angels and shit.
and he had he had Johnny Tapia under control for a while too. Another madman.
Yeah, so that's kind of his thing because he just, he just puts it out there like it is,
Well, and that's what he was saying too, Buddy. What Buddy McGirt was saying, he's like, "Hey, just don't start looking for the knockout. Just keep touching them up, and see what happens. If it presents itself, it presents itself." But
right. Well, listen, just as a little side note here, we were talking about that on Wednesday about how people are way too fast, trigger happy to jump on the he's shot bandwagon. The guy was fucking doing very well in the first fight, maybe even winning the first fight against Alvarez. I mean, downslide, sure, he was on the downslide, but to say that he was shot, I didn't see that.
I thought he was shot going into the fight.
I thought he was mentally shot.
Yeah, that's
mentally
like
I thought that Ward thing. I know it took a lot out of me. Fucking, I didn't wait. I was so pissed off after that first robbery. I mean, that first one was a straight robbery. To take in, wasn't a unified champion. No, with just the one WBC belt. To take a man's all his hardware from him like that on a robbery is some fucking ugly shit. And then they have fucking people tweeting today like that guy Graham who writes for Boxing Monthly saying, "Oh man, this really makes fucking Ward's wins over Kovalev look that much more impressive."
Oh my god!
Are you fucking serious?
By the way,
like,
I want to get to that. I want to get to that because recognize. First of all, I had to leave the chat last night because I had to go to sleep. I couldn't stay up till fucking 1 a.m. to watch the fight. I actually watched it the day after. But John Gonzalez and Recognize were in the chat room. And Recognize, we talked a little bit about fucking Max Kellerman and how he was lapping Andrew Ward's asshole up during the whole fucking fight. What did you call him in the chat room?
I forgot. Is either Kuckerman or
Max Fagerman. It's like, listen, I have a lowbrow sense of humor. What do you want from me? I'm a simple man. What's that apology? Yeah, go ahead.
Do you remember what Precise called him?
No, I forgot what.
Climax Kellerman.
What?
Climax.
Climax Kellerman.
That's a big waterfall as well.
At least he ripped Lawrence Cole a new asshole though. At least he was.
All right, hold on a second. Cameron, mute your fucking mic, please, man.
What the fuck is that,
Yeah, that's what the wheel is.
All right, he's with his fucking.
Control your trannies, man. Jesus.
Yeah, he's with his transvestite prostitutes again. Cameron, you've been muted, man, until you can get your transvestite prostitutes under control. Sorry, who was talking? I forgot.
I was just going to say, at least Kellerman ripped Lawrence Cole a new asshole anyway. At least he did that much, along with sucking Andre Ward off. But, at least he was like, yeah, this Lawrence Cole keeps getting opportunity after opportunity. And, so...
You know what's fucked up? I agreed with him, too. That's one of the few times I agree with Kettleman. I think Cole sucks. He does that all the time. There was no need for that kid to take those last shots. No need at all.
Exactly.
That kid was out on his feet at the end of the first round. Out on his feet. He was still on fucking goofy legs coming out in the second. And when he got up and he told him to come forward, his eyes weren't focused. I'm like, what? So what do you want to kill this kid? He's making chump change. He has no chance of winning. You know what I mean? Like you said, if it was the 12th, right? Yeah, that was to tee this kid up to fucking. I mean, when your brain is already soft like that, and your body's not like you're telling your hands to cover your face, and you're just not doing it. You are fucking subsist. That's when you get killed. It's
that was disgusting, you know what I mean?
Man. That was no need to carry that on.
To watch.
All right, hold on. Let's get to that. Let's get to that afterwards. Let's stick to Kovalev. Yeah, just for the moment, and then we'll move on to that. I just want to get
fucking this thing all up tonight, huh? I'm jumping all over the place on you.
And I can hear you smoking in the background, so I guess we know where that's coming from.
You can hear that?
A little ganja. Oh, I can hear it from a mile away. I can hear it from a mile away.
I'm afraid of BDA's microphone.
Okay, see, someone taking a shit. It's probably...
Just wait until Cameron gets on.
All right,
Cameron gets on.
I've unmuted him.
Dopest dope I ever smoked. Dopest dope I ever smoked.
All right, so who wants to go? Who didn't I get to about Kovalev Alvarez?
Me.
All right, Cameron, I've unmuted you because hopefully I can. All right,
I muted myself, man.
Oh yeah, you muted yourself. Is that how it's gonna be?
And all seriously, none of us picked Kovalev to win last night. I know Reverse Lee in the chat said he did, but none of us did. We all had Alvarez by knockout.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think Kovalev had it in him.
Actually, reversely did say he. I can. The reason why I can say that is because through the private chat, he did say.
But fuck the private chat. It wasn't on the show to put it out there.
But he still said
exactly.
It's not official. It's not official.
It's not official. It's right. He's absolutely right.
Don't hate.
Listen, no, also is that none of us thought Kovalev had it in him anymore.
I didn't think.
Who was the guy who was training him?
Buddy McGirt.
I didn't know he was training him either.
Me either, dude. We know our shit, huh? Neither one of us knew that.
No,
that's pretty embarrassing, dude.
Yeah.
Nah, but in all seriousness,
fucking game sucks, man.
Let's hope that Kovalev actually fights again because he's got this thing with this woman, and he beat this woman up. So
yeah, we're gonna see what happens with that. Whether he can beat the rap on that one. All right, let's get to recognize from a technical, and then we'll get to apology, and then Gonzalo. From a technical standpoint, recognize. What did you think of the Kovalev rematch and how well he did compared to the first fight?
I mean, the one thing that I'm impressed with Kovalev was his stamina and how calm he stood. I even think that he stood so calm that it probably stopped him from at least dropping Alvarez or even stopping him. Okay, that's what I mean by that. He was so calm, he didn't let nothing phase him. Did you even see? I was looking at the way he would go back to his corner. It was calm, sit back, just listen. That's it. That was Buddy McGirt put that in his brain. We already knew that he knew how to he can outbox an opponent. We've seen him do it several times to several different names. So that part didn't shock me. What shocked me was that how patient he was in that whole fight. How just patient and didn't even he didn't even lose the plot not one time. Like I could literally say that he didn't lose the plot one time. He didn't get into unnecessary exchanges just because he got hit. He stayed calm, and like I said, man, I thought that even at certain points, I'm like, dude, you're a little too calm. You need to unload a little bit harder. Just to get this. Maybe you could drop him, but he wasn't gonna give him no shot. He wasn't gonna give Alvarez no shot. Maybe that had a little bit to do with Buddy McGirt. Maybe that had a little bit to do with Kovalev saying, look, man, the last time I was going at it with this dude, he caught me with a shot and dropped me and finished me. Mm-hmm. So Kovalev outboxing somebody is nothing surprising. It's just to me that his mental going into this fight, I thought that his, with all the outside distractions going into the fight, I thought for sure that it might show up once Alvarez starts dropping in some punches and maybe wobble him a little bit. But no, that didn't happen. That never happened. I thought he won just about every single round. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll give him 1 or 2 rounds. Maybe I could find 1 or 2 rounds to give to Alvarez. But other than that, all Kovalev and very impressive. I think he gives Valdez a good fight. I think he gives Bivol a good fight. I don't know who said it earlier, but I agree with you. I think he beats Beterbiev. So, Kovalev is back in the game.
Oh, now that's interesting. Do
and
you think
100% wrong? I was 100% wrong.
Do you think that Alvarez couldn't, because he would start the round out strong, going to the body, and then he would just stay in mid range or long range? Do you think it was because he couldn't get past Kovalev's jab, or what was going on there?
Yeah. And it was also Kovalev just sticking to the game plan. But I also thought that Alvarez was trying to repeat. He was trying to force what happened the last time. I think I think he had the wrong game plan. Or maybe he didn't have the wrong game plan. Maybe he just looked at Kovalev and said, Kovalev's not going to do the same things that he did in the last fight.
Right.
So I got to try to make something happen. But he was doing one shot at a time. That's not going to win. That's not going to get you a knockout versus Kovalev. Especially when he just got knocked out. Especially when he just got knocked out. So he's going to be more alert and aware. So it's not going to happen again.
Yeah. I kind of thought Alvarez just isn't that good. Because if you think about it, that was just an extension of last fight. Because last fight, it wasn't like he was winning the fight. He was losing that fight. It was because he caught him with a shot. So all I saw was an extension. Really didn't do anything different. In fact, I think he kind of got exposed. I think he got more hype from – that usually happens, though, because really nobody knew anything of Alvarez because Stevens ducked him for so long. You know what I mean? And it was question marks about him. We just heard he had some good power. And I think last night he kind of got exposed because he looked bad. He looked like he didn't know what to do.
All right, now let me. Let's get to apology. Go ahead.
Real quick, I remember the Alvarez versus Chilemba fight. He looked horrible in that as well, and I thought he lost that fight. So I kind of see where Jimmy's coming from.
But do you think, like, I'll ask you what I ask also other people, like, do you think, when you were watching the fight, did you sort of get the sense that if Alvarez would have walked through the punches and maybe shown more grit, he could have gotten something done? In other words, do you think Kovalev still has a little bit of give in him?
He could have got something done, definitely. But he just didn't want to, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
No, I was just going to say it's the jab. Kovalev's jab's nasty. And I'll tell you, I've said it on this show, man, the worst punch for me definitely is the jab. Nothing sucks more than a stiff jab to the beak.
Right.
Yeah. And also, Kovalev's got a nasty jab to, like, the chest. To
Solar flex, yeah.
Yeah, you see it, especially in the Pascal fight. He was killing that shoulder, shoulder plexes.
Jabs like his and Triple G keep you honest. They keep you fucking. You got to plan your shit out. And if you don't have the footwork, because all he should have done was just make the fight dirty. And the minute he got in there, anytime Kovalev was close, start fucking get him ugly, get him off his game. Because like you all said, you touched on it, too calm. I would have been like, this motherfucker is just like, we got to get this kid pissed off. I'll take a point. I'm losing this fight. I'm going to take a point. Boom! I'd give him a headbutt across his nose. Why not? Piss him off. Get him fucking pissed off. Like, because then he's gonna, when you get pissed off, you revert to what you do, which cost Arturo Gatti the first fight because he didn't listen to Buddy. He listened to Buddy in the next two, though, didn't he?
That's right. That's right. But then again, Alvarez's corner was screaming at him as the fight went on. Let your hands go. You gotta put your guard up and walk him down with the jab. Easier said than done, I suppose.
I think he broke his nose in the second round.
Oh,
I thought it broke Alvarez. The second or third round, I thought Kovalev broke his nose. Just the way he was moving his nose and sniffing and I don't know. I thought he did.
He was sniffing harder. He was sniffing harder than Bucho on a Saturday night. Now, hold on. Before we continue, I
think Johnny wants to say something.
Yeah, I wanted to get to Gonzalo because he hasn't spoken yet. Gonzalo, you there?
Yeah. Hello.
Hey, good to have you on board, Gonzalo.
I got my internet, so hopefully I come in clear now.
Fantastic. Give us your thoughts on what we're talking about here about Kovalev versus Alvarez last night, the rematch.
I mean, Kovalev, devastating puncher. I had no doubt that his jab is like a baseball bat. I had no doubt that he was going to show up. You know, I even went out on the limb and said, you know, it's the early part of the year, but I had predicted the fight of the year candidate, you know, that it was going to be a war of attrition. But the thing with that is that not both fighters showed up. Only Kovalev did. The champion didn't show up. So it takes two to tango, you know. And Kovalev clearly won. He dominated the fight. And I was listening to recognize, and this is interesting, it dawned on me. You know what? When he fought Ward the first time, he kind of did things in a similar way with his being patient and sticking his jab out there and winning the fight like that. But when they stole the fight from him and he lost, I think he changed something in himself because he said to himself, this ain't enough, when it actually was enough. But he lost the fight. And from there on, he just went to lose. But now he kind of came back to the same, you know, with Buddy McGirt, the same principles, the same basics, you know, fundamentals. So, yeah, he did enough, you know, with his patient boxing. And that pretty much was able to get the job done for them to control most of the fight. So, yeah, but Alvarez didn't show up.
No, he didn't.
Oh, and Johnny said that he looks like Uncle Fester. I think he looks more like Mr. Potato Head.
I was just making a crack. I like Buddy.
No disrespect. No disrespect.
Mr. BDA.
Yes.
I have something to ask you. Is it just me, or is Kathy Duva, is something about her that's appealing?
No. No, not
no, I know she's older, but you know.
Wait. Stop, please. Stop.
No, it's just something about her that's like, oh, Kathy
Wait, time out. She looks like she could be Mr. BDA's type.
Wait a minute. What's going on here?
People.
What do you say? What do you say to that, BDA?
What do I say to that?
Sexy.
Hey, I'll take her
your type.
This is what I'll say about her.
You can come on her, fuck her in the mouth, fuck her in the ass, come on her face, man.
Yeah, she seems like the dirty type.
I'll take her over Bradley's wife, man. So.
You know what? She looks like she looks like her snatch smells like boiled vegetables. I don't know why.
Rotten wet cabbage. Rotten wet cabbage.
Yeah, rotten wet boiled cabbage. That's what I.
You know who's got?
I gotta fucking puke, man.
Yeah,
kimchi cunt.
You know who's got a little cutie is fucking Linares, bro. He's got a little cutie.
Oh, Linares, his wife, yeah, fine.
Yeah, she's a little hottie.
Yeah, I'll say it. I'll say it again. James DeGill's sister.
Sorry.
No, I was just saying James DeGill's sister. I'll keep saying it, man. Oof.
No,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just
Floyd was after her, man.
I'm tired of that cunt.
Oh,
hey, what about the dude who got fucking engaged after he got knocked out? That was kind of fucking bizarre.
Oh yeah, what's his name?
The kid from Italy.
Oh, Carmine. Carmine lost. Fuck.
Yeah,
man.
he got knocked the fuck out, and he asked his woman to marry him. She's up there shaking and shit. I thought she was shaking. He's like, man, you just got knocked the fuck out. Dude.
Apology. 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 What did you think?
Weird.
Apology. What did you think about? Hold on. Apology. Hold on. Apology. What did you think about that?
And I'll bang the guy that just knocked you out.
Apology. Yeah, imagine if she would have done that. Apology. What did you think about that move? What did you think? Did you think Carmine made the right move or?
Fuck no. You know now.
First of all, that was a very. I'm sorry if I'm interrupting anybody, but that was a very cocky display of. Just man, that was terrible. You just got beat up, bro. I mean, if you got beat up, man. Let's just call it like it is. Hey, will you marry me?
And then the bitch is a foot taller than him too.
Yeah,
worse.
He's a feminine boy. You know, like oh man.
Oh, I'm not gonna let you talk shit about Carmine like that.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I'm a little out of line.
A little bit.
How about Miguel Cotto's wife? Recognize.
All right, we're talking about
Carmine.
Listen,
wait,
I've been warned.
No, I don't know. I'm just kidding because I heard things about him.
Gonzalo, I can't answer that because I've been warned on this show that my hatred for Cotto is a little out of a little out of order. So I'm not going to answer that.
Control.
She's decent, man. She's decent, especially back in the day.
Cotto thought he was a rock star. Fuck him. Seriously, he's one of the few boxers when he got big, especially in New York. He thought he was a rock star, going to clubs, winning.
Can I say this?
Just ask recognize.
Yeah, exactly. Can I just say this about his wife?
Yeah.
Can I say it out, BDA?
Yeah.
Go ahead. She's the type of woman that I would smash every nasty way, but I would not marry her. No way.
Well, no shit.
Is that okay? Yeah, I mean that face, them boobs. Yeah, I'm smashing her every kind of way.
Would you?
But she has that skeletal nose like Michael Jackson. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. She got that.
It's about to fall off.
She got this. We call it. You ever heard of the saying "bellaca"?
Bellaca, no.
Bellaca is like it's for saying a chick is real horny.
All right.
She has that look. That's just what she has. She has that look.
Yeah, she could get it though, bro. I mean, I'd smash for sure.
My first whack.
Yeah, I would whack it, but
Yeah.
I don't want no problems with Cotto, is what I'm saying. I don't want no
problems. But she's got fucking plastic surgery on her nose, her titties, and plastics. I hate fucking fake titties, man.
Oh, come on.
Especially when the chick starts putting on weight. They're all right when the chick's thin and all still young and rocking, but when she hits her fucking 30s and has kids, and they're all sloppy except for those bags, it feels so bizarre. And then when they get on their knees, dude, that shit looks like udders. It's horrible. It's the fucking bags. Well, it depends if they get them under the muscle. If they didn't, they got them over the muscle. They're terrible. And the titties, if they breastfeed, it's a disaster.
So there you have it.
Something BDA would like.
Well, hold on a second. What's that?
That's something you would like.
No,
right?
listen. Hold on a second. Apology. First of all, apology. You don't disrespect me like that. Second of all, Jimmy, you're the first guy that I've ever met that says I don't like titties. We're gonna take that.
Titties.
No. We're gonna take that. We're gonna isolate it, and we're gonna be playing it all the time. Jimmy
I'm an ass man. I already said on the show, tits are for kids, dude. I'm all about the fucking pooper.
That's true.
I recognize if you were with Cotto's wife, would you go Rocco Siffredi again, like when you were in your 20s?
Oh man, no! Remember that message that I sent? How I used to greet the girls that I would never see again.
Right.
You know what I said, right?
Was it about the French accent or about the fingers down the throat? Yeah, yeah. Fucking Recognize said that he.
That's how. Go ahead.
Well, Recognize said that he would pull an Aziz Ansari on the girls, which is that he would shove. What was it he said? He said he would come in with a French accent and then shove his fingers down their throats or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, right, guys?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You got it. I would tell her to meet me in a room, and I would totally disrespect her. I will answer the door naked and say, "Come inside, sweetheart." She never met me before. She's like, "What the?" She'll have that "what the fuck" look, and I'll be like, "Yeah, you know, there's no need to be nice to you."
There's no need to be nice to you.
Let's get down to business.
Oh. And yeah, so
man,
Apology
Cole's
could
gonna
learn.
Kill me, but I swear to God, I better not go to Puerto Rico ever. Because if he finds out who I am,
Yeah, Apology, you could learn a thing or two from recognize his anecdotes. Seriously.
yeah, you could.
I'm good.
Hey, recognize.
Everything we do is nasty.
I was more of a fan of Cotto. Just really quick, before he got the tattoos, when he started getting a lot of tattoos, he seemed more like a UFC fighter type of look to me. If
He's
that
not.
counts for anything, it's just,
That's not your type.
got all them tattoos. Yeah,
I just always thought there was a little crybaby homo deep down inside of him. Like always.
Well, him and that his assistant or friend, whatever, that looked pretty suspicious, man. Kissing
they
the guy
slept
on the
together.
lips.
Didn't they sleep together?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
They were cuddling on a bus together, man. They were spooning.
Who? Even Mayweather.
Fucking
was like,
Cotto and his assistant,
if
the
you
one who
watch
was
that-
walking around in fuzzy slippers at Wild
if you watch
Card.
that 24 hours, if you watch that 24 hours build up for Cotto and Mayweather, like they show Mayweather the whole him sleeping in his he said, "Yo, bro, that's I don't know." Mayweather was like, "That's real gay to me," but hey, whatever.
And that's coming from Mayweather. Listen.
Coming from Mayweather.
Yeah, man. And remember when
The guy
Cotto
that
would,
wears long red boots. I mean,
Yeah, he's been through a few. He's been through a few transformations. You know, he used to be black, like with an afro too. Then he changed to the tattoos and from being a homo. Remember when he used to have an afro?
yeah. When he first started,
Yeah.
his hair,
He like the whole Michael Jackson, you know.
when you let his hair grow, you know, he had a fro, he had an afro. He looked like almost like I don't know if you guys know Tego Calderon. Right. He has hair like that, like it's real afro-ish. Then he went from shaving it bald, and that's when he started with all these gay tattoos. I mean, excuse me, weird tattoos.
Fucking Soul Glow video. Remember that? Soul Glow from fucking Coming to America? Jerry curls. The wet Jerry curls.
I think he had Jerry curls too. I think Cole had Jerry curls when he first started.
Yep, fucking Soul Glow.
Puerto Rico's so late to the party. They're so late, like when it comes to style. Like they at one point they were rocking Jerry curls like in the late '90s. I'm like, yo, that's a late '80s thing, man. It took you guys 10 years to do this.
You can be all the things you've always wanted to be. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Sexy.
Then the beating he took for Margarito. And
all right,
Pacquiao,
Gonzalo,
you know.
don't interrupt the fucking Soul Glow, man. It's the Soul Glow.
Okay.
Soul Glow. Gonzalo, you there?
Just let your soul.
Hey,
glow.
Did people drop
Let
out,
it
man?
shine through, yeah.
Oh yeah, people dropped out.
Jimmy did. I think Jimmy did.
All right.
Did what?
No. I just
did I
went
do?
to. No. I was asking if people dropped off because I didn't get any answers.
Oh,
But
I
listen,
just got whacked.
Yeah, me too.
I better be careful because you know
by
that
the way-
saying that you have on Apology Central. Speak of the devil, he shall appear. That's gonna be Cotto one day.
Speaking of gay guys, there's some little homo rapper kid jumping around in the Super Bowl halftime right now.
Yo,
Oh, don't tell me. Hey, shush! Don't, please, guys. I don't mean to yell at anybody, but I got people coming over. We're gonna watch it after I'm recording it. Sorry, because I'm from Boston. So please, if you guys want to talk about it, I'll just jump up. Not a big deal. I'm not trying to control the speech here.
Hold on.
No, I
What
won't
did you
say-
say,
I
Jimmy?
won't say
Jimmy,
nothing,
cover your
bro.
Jimmy, cover your ears for 1 second, please.
All right, well, I'm gonna take out my phones. All right,
No,
speak.
just take them off. It
Wait,
sucks.
hold on. What do you say?
It sucks. Super Bowl sucks right now. That's all I gotta
Okay,
say.
Gonzalo.
Tell Jimmy
Johnny,
to go
what
back
did
on.
you say?
Hold on. Too chaotic.
No, it's all right. Ain't nothing. It's okay.
No, Jimmy. I meant Johnny. You said something about like a homosexual on the field or something.
Jeez.
Yeah. One of these gay little rapper kids is jumping around on the halftime show.
Oh, I thought you meant a cheerleader. I'm about to say, because we did the show about male cheerleaders coming in NFL
Oh,
and stuff.
dear God.
Yeah, and no, he just got some tight little skinny leather pants on with a blonde mohawk, looking like a fucking dude off, looking like one of them weird motherfuckers off of the old RoboCop.
Johnny boy, I just gotta say, man, your accent is perfect. I don't know where you're from, bro, but your accent is
Chicago,
on point.
Bro.
Oh, you're from Chi-Town. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, recognize.
Hey,
I love Chicago, bro. I love the way Chicago looks, man.
By the way,
you know what's funny, bro? When I lived in Florida, dog, it was all.
Is it safe?
It depends where you're at.
It's safe, Jimmy. No, Jimmy.
All right.
Jimmy, you're safe to no Super Bowl talk. I said what I
cool.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say shit, Jimmy. I promise.
Yeah, no, I got my buddies works in prison, and he's getting off. You know, by the time you get out, he doesn't want to watch myself. I said, I'll pause it, and especially when I saw you having a show, I said, yeah, no, I'll just record and watch it then. It's not, and not to sound like a jerk, but I mean, how many, oh yeah, the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? It's like when you live in Boston, it's almost like a holiday.
Yeah, no, I ain't gonna say shit, brother. I promise.
It's fuck almost every year, but no, I just like Brady and shit. But anyways, gentlemen, back to boxing.
Yeah, we just wanted to say about, because we talked about Kovalev versus Alvarez. Now let's talk about the guy that everybody seems to be high on. Everybody's got like an opinion on him. Teofimo Lopez, who stopped Magdaleno. I forget which round, but he really put a beating on the guy. Seventh. Thanks, Jimmy.
Yeah.
The guy's got skills. He's got power. He's got moxie, which is what you want, if you want to market him. But people didn't enjoy his antics. So I want to get some of your opinions. Like, what did you think about the fight, the skills, and the drama that took place during the fight?
Here, I'll go first this time. Is that
Go
okay,
ahead, Johnny
everybody?
Boy. Cool.
Okay. Yeah, I you know what? He was getting in his face and shit. Diego was, but that shit at the end when he knocked him out was a little bit unnecessary. That's the way I felt about it. As far as the kid's skills go, he's a good fighter. He's gonna be good in the future. Do I think they should throw him in there with Lomachenko yet? No, but I think that is something to build into a super fight because Mikey and Tank ain't gonna fight him. So
that's a good point.
That's my 2 cents, BDA. So.
All right.
Yo, Zapata, whatever your name is, you got your camera on, and if you want to meet your man.
Oh shit, Zapata's on?
Well. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up?
Can I give my take?
Go ahead, Gonzalo.
Yeah, he was impressive. He's got a good set of skills. He's got fast hands. He's got a sharp uppercut, which he don't cock back for anything. He just sticks it out there hard. Boom. He's got good punching power.
Your mic.
Yeah, please. Sorry, Gonzalo. But Zapata. Okay, I think he muted. All right, go ahead, Gonzalo.
Yeah, talking about his skills, and he's got good punching power in both hands because he knocked out Magdaleno with 2 right hands. He shook him with one, and he knew he had him hurt, and he just very patiently threw it again. Boom, once again, the same hand. So he's got power in both hands because he knocked out Mason Menard with the left hand, and so he took him out with that's questionable, his punching power. And he's a very good fighter, and in his interview also very important. He's fighting again in April, so he's coming right back to the drawing board and getting in more work done. So that just goes to show that activity is key, for a young fighter to progress. So he's quality, and as far as his antics, he is obnoxious. That's just his personality. He's obnoxious, and then I could see how that could rub off people the wrong way. But at the same time, he did embrace Magdaleno, so it's just part of his showboating antics.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but
so you gotta take it with stride.
Is he fighting Pedraza next? Is that what I read, or?
No,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Maybe who knows? But it's not. He's gonna put something out next week. That's when we're gonna find out. He said.
I see.
To be determined.
Well, BDA, after I tweeted out something, I said, it was 2 left hands, and I'm sorry, but I think it was 2 lefts that actually ended the fight. He ended it on 2 lefts, a left and another followed up with another left, which was sick.
Two left hands, and then the Maynard was a right hand. So he's got power in both hands.
That was too to jump back in like that, and you know what? To do it, if you notice, he kind of lifted himself up as he did. He kind of jumped, which to have power when you're lifting your feet up off the mat, it's pretty, it's impressive. But I was told, because after I did that tweet, somebody DM'd me and said, "Dude, he was told that I guess in Spanish he was calling him a fucking pussy and talking mad shit to the point where I guess the ref had to tell Magdaleno to stop talking and start fighting."
He did call him a pussy. I heard it. I speak Spanish well. I heard.
Okay, yeah. So I guess he was really running his mouth. So then that to me, now I understand. Not that I condone. I understand why he did the fucking throwing dirt on you. But listen, this is why I don't like that. What happens if that kid slipped? Because you could even get up, talked, hugged it out, and then went in the back and died. Or just even died right there. You don't do that until the man's up. You know what I mean? You don't. When the fight is still on the ground, you could die, man. You don't fucking do that shit because you'd regret that the rest of your life. That would stick with you. Look at the way people are talking about him on Twitter. Didn't go over favorable. Imagine if that dude died after, what people would be saying about him today.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. But then again, this is boxing.
Man.
I like him too. I like him a lot.
I was gonna say. I like the kid. I like his attitude. I like his. I'm talking about within the content of boxing. That's all I'm talking about. Now,
he's dangerous to anybody.
The kid hits with vicious intent. He's explosive. Do I think he's ready for the top dogs right now? I'm kind of 50-50 about that because I'm looking at those shots that he's hitting Magdaleno with, and I'm saying that could hurt anybody. I'm not saying that Magdaleno's as good as some of the top guys at 135 or even at 140. No, but he's going to get people's attention because he's explosive. His punches are explosive. They The only thing that he needs to learn, the only thing that I think he needs to learn. Damn, there's some gay shit going on. Sorry, I don't want to say it. Anyway, Jimmy. I don't want to. Sorry, Jimmy. But anyway, no. I was gonna say. I almost lost my train. Okay, Lopez. Lopez is what Lopez needs to do more. Is not worry about Styles points too much, but that comes with experience. You see, he's so talented that he's not just trying to beat you. He's trying to, beating you is nothing. It's like he wants to leave an impression that he wants to own that dude. He wants to own the fighter. And Magdaleno, look, already, he has a very confrontational attitude.
That's right.
When you add somebody calling you a pussy, I heard what he said. I heard what he was saying. It. You just adding more to the line, to this baby lion that's just wants to come out and kill you. He wants to, and that's what happened in the end. And how he was able to manifest that vicious two-punch, those two left hooks, and be on point is impressive, man. So, look, I like him. I think he's going to be a threat for a long time as long as he takes care of himself and stays on the right track. I think he just needs experience, not worry about style points. Take the fight the way it's presented to you and try to get a win that way. I think he's a threat. For real.
Let me tell you, recognize you hit the nail on the head right there that he just needs a little more seasoning, but let's not get it twisted. Other than the power, he does have very good skills. And recognize another point he made was that it's true, man. I mean, somebody's talking shit to you. It gets to you at a certain point. I mean, I remember before I used to go to school, you're a pussy, you're a fag, you're a lowlife. And I would say, come on, mom, I got to go to school. Stop talking to me like that. But anyway, listen.
I should have known this was going somewhere.
Exactly. We didn't always go soft like that.
But, Koran Bread.
Your mom was tough on you. She was tough on you.
She was a whore. Listen, Koran Bread. I'm kidding. Koran Bread. Koran Bread in the chat room is bringing up a point that I raised earlier, which is, isn't, Teofimo Lopez, again, Magdaleno was getting in his face, and this is a hurting business. I mean, are we really going to expect our fighters to be angels in there?
I do.
That's all right.
Yeah. Hey, but is Zapata still there?
Zapata's still there.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
Oh, and I just wanted to say too, dude. I'm not turned off on him. Like I'm still a big fan. I'm just saying it's just not because it's just not the attention you need. He does enough with the flips and he's got the fucking personality for days. Listen, that kid's got a career. If his brain doesn't get mushed, he's got a career at the mic too because he's got the personality.
That's true.
I don't know, man. He's got a lot of inner demons, and I know he's got a lot of fucking battles with his father. So I don't know. This could end up,
I think that's
right?
what makes him good. Yeah, I think that's what makes him good.
All right,
driven.
I think what they should do is throw him in there with like a Easter Junior or a Pedraza or something like that and see what happens there.
If they give him the Lomachenko now, they're going to ruin the kid.
Right.
I'm telling you right now, they'll ruin him. Why would you do that?
All right, let's get
Aram. If they try to make me fight that, I would leave Aram. I'd say, see ya.
But hold on,
to be fair, we keep saying that Davis should be allowed to fight Lomachenko, no?
All right, let's get to let's get to Zapata. He's been in queue for a while. Zapata, are you there?
Hey, I'm not sure how this shit works. This is my first time on this motherfucker right here, so
I thought you'd been here.
I don't know.
I thought you'd been here before.
No, this is about his first time.
No, it's my first time. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm confusing you with Guerrero de la Info.
No,
that's not Guerrero.
Okay.
The mute. There's.
What's up?
Oh shit! 2 buttons you can use. Like there's a mic button and there's a video button, so you can use them to mute yourself or turn off your camera.
Yeah, because right now we see you every time you talk, so I don't know if you want to be seen on screen. But yeah, also don't forget to keep your mics muted if you're not going to be speaking. Otherwise, we hear all the background noise, and especially Jimmy. He doesn't want any spoilers. So if any of you are watching the Super Bowl, we don't want to. Yeah.
Hey, can you guys hear me there?
Yeah, we can hear you. Just turn your camera off when you're going to do a drive-by. That's all. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys talking about? Did anybody see that fucking Valdez fight?
Oh yeah,
man, I did.
That kid's defense is all fucked up. Yeah, that's what I said too. I saw some highlights shit, but his defense is all fucked up, man.
Wait, did Valdez fight? When did he fight?
Yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Shit.
Yep.
Who did he fight?
Yeah, I had higher hopes for that kid, man. I'm thinking that it's not what it seems to be, But he's not gonna be up there anytime soon. Motherfucker's fighting like he's hurt or some shit.
Who, Valdez? You talking about?
Yeah, Valdez. Yeah, I'm talking about Valdez. Yeah.
Didn't Valdez get his jaw broken in his last fight?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Recognize he might still be a little bit fucking sore or some shit.
When you break anything in your face, you become very. You're just very cautious. You're very hesitant. You react different every time somebody touches you there.
Yeah.
I thought that was fight of the year last year, Valdez and Scott Quigg, bro. For me, that fight.
Me too.
Yeah, that was a good fight. Yeah.
That's the fight. That's the fight. I think that got his jaw broken. Was that fight?
Yeah, it was.
I think so. I'm not sure, but on some other shit, I seen Midas was in the hospital and got surgery for his eye and shit. I know those fucking racist motherfuckers in the LGBT were talking shit, talking about, he's fucking, he was fucking scared and he was ducking and Black Power and all this shit. The motherfucker literally recorded himself in surgery and shit. So, that's a big fucking L on their end. And, shout out to Fox Strikes for coming out of the closet yesterday in the chat room.
What?
Man, that's my boy, bro.
Hey, no. I mean, it's just like, I think it's just different ways of expressing yourself in different places of the United States or around the world. But in San Diego, you call another man fine. You know what I'm saying? That's suspect in a motherfucker right there. That shit'll get you mollywop quick.
Well, he's from Jamaica, I think. Oh shit! Everybody dropped off. The Fox Strikes is a good dude. He suffers from the same thing I do, which is we try to be too objective,
politically correct,
and unbiased. Yeah. So, now wait a minute. But yeah,
Fox is fine. I've talked with Fox plenty of times, and he's a good dude. But you got to understand, and I'm not saying this towards Fox. You got to understand, everybody's going to come with their own personality,
right?
And that's what we try. Even if you don't agree. That's what we're trying to say. Look,
I think I was kicked out of the chat.
No, man, it just dropped. It just dropped.
Everybody has their personality. You've had the boxing style, very flamboyant.
Very flamboyant.
Yeah, you're from San Diego, Zapata?
Yeah, I'm from San Diego, bro.
Yeah, I was born there.
Yeah, San Diego native. Yeah.
Yeah, I lived there also, but I grew up in TJ.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say. I thought you were.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I train right there at Marone's Boxing Ranch in Lakeside.
Oh shit.
Sorry,
can I ask a quick question? What did Fox say?
Up?
What did Fox say? The
Fox
guy was fine.
Fox said, yeah, he said that dude Southside was fine.
But what did he mean by that?
Like, I mean, that's what I don't know. See, I'm a little bit. I think he might have nourished a couple of drinks. You know what I'm saying? But I don't really get what what that fine part.
Did he mean like maybe in Jamaica means a different thing. You know?
Yeah, maybe in patois.
Did he mean like fine, like fine, like the motherfucker looks good, or like fine?
I don't think so. I don't think he meant it that way. I don't think he meant it that way. I don't think he meant it that way.
Fine, like cool, like I'm cool with him.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, it's 2019 and shit. There's a lot of weird shit going on. You know what I mean? So it's
yeah, that's true. Just right now, man.
It's a bit odd to hear a man call another man fine.
But listen, hold on. I want to get back to Valdez because I want to get back to. Hold on. I want to get back to fucking. I want to get back to Valdez. Is it me or is he too hook happy? Like he doesn't throw punches down the line. Or down the pipe. He's always throwing hooks. You would think that what's his name?
He reminds me of Baby Bull. What was his name? The Mexican fighter that Marquez knocked out.
Yeah, fucking
Juan Diaz.
Texas. He's from Texas.
Juan Diaz, yeah.
Juan Diaz.
Yeah, he just beat my homie. He just beat my homie from Tijuana not too long. Last year before that.
He still fights.
Cuervito Garcia. Yeah, he still fights. He's a fat motherfucker though, man. That's a big fucking. That's a fat boy right there, man.
Yeah, he needs to get on the.
Who's that? Juan Diaz.
But yeah, he has a similar style, I suppose. Yeah, he does come in with that hook too much. A right counter punch is gonna knock that fool the fuck out though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he's gonna catch him. He's gonna catch him right on fucking. You know, he got to change it up a little bit. Come in with the jab and then work that hook, not just fucking boom. Come in with the fucking hook and lead off the hook.
Zapata, who you think will win between Santa Cruz and Valdez right now?
Shit. I mean, Leo Santa Cruz. I think he's a slicker fighter. I mean, that other taco eating motherfucker isn't really. You know. I think he'd try to fucking be an aggressor, and Leo's gonna just box him.
Yeah,
I got Leo on that one.
Yeah, I do too, bro. Who do you like on Valdez Warrington? If them two was to fight,
I'll take Valdez. That motherfucker has too much fucking weak sauce on him, you know. I think so. I got
rushes in a lot. He rushes in a lot.
Yeah.
Warrington.
I don't know, man. Listen, the fucking Valdez, he like I said, if you're gonna beat Warrington, you gotta go down the line, down the middle, and if you start training hooks with him, even though Valdez has superior firepower, he might just get outworked, man. I don't know.
I think so because a lot of people don't realize that those hooks take a lot of energy from you, man. Like if you fucking crazy, you miss 3 fucking hooks, that shit, it'll take you down, man. It'll start draining you eventually.
Right.
He does throw a lot of fucking hooks.
And by the way, before we continue,
I try to keep it consistent. At least when I spar, I try to keep it consistent with like a jab. Just work the jab, and then come in. Because I got a strong left hook as well. So I mean, it's I don't fucking try to rush in with nothing crazy like that because that's the kind of shit that'll fucking have your ass laid out.
All right, now before we continue, we got Precise on the line.
Dependent upon how you interpret the data.
What's up with all the transvestites in Hollywood, though? Because if you're a postmodernist and you don't have any standards, you're always going to keep moving the goalpost, and you're never going to stick to your own standards because you don't have any standards.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
All right, we got Precise on the line. Precise, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you. Do you have a new microphone or something?
No, I'm usually on my phone, but I hopped on my laptop. And I do have a bit of a cold, so maybe that's what you're hearing.
How the fuck do you get a cold in South America?
It's going around the world.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, what's up, everybody?
Good.
Precise?
Hey,
what up,
hey, Precise, remember when you called out blood boxing and shit? They started yelling like fucking lunatic.
Which time?
Well, you did call him out a few times, but I went over there trolling, right? I was like, hey, man, why don't you fucking debate Precise? I called him Blood Dean and shit. He blocked me.
Hey, Zapata, you know what Ego blocked me? You know what Ego blocked me for?
He gonna block me back in like motherfucking 2009.
Yeah, bro. You know what he blocked me for, dog? Because I told him Tank Davis was hiding up Ellerby's nostril from Lomachenko. That's why he blocked me.
Racist.
Yeah, that's
racist. That was racist.
It's not exactly what we want to hear here at
racist.
BDA.
Get the hell out of here.
That's just racist. Come on. That's
just in a street.
That's racist, bro.
BDA couldn't get control of this panel.
I'm trying, Apology. I'm trying. I'm trying my darnest. But, you know, these degenerates.
Don't piss Apology off. Anyway, Precise.
Apology.
What did you think about the fight, man? The Kovalev and Alvarez.
Well, I mean,
I got that shit wrong.
He showed his class, right? Went back to his amateur days, took a lot of power off the shots. I mean, even in the first fight, he was taken over and then just got caught. I don't know how you guys had the first fight. I just watched
he was winning
yesterday. Yeah, he looked like he was taken over, except he wasn't really minding his defense. And now in this fight, for example, every time Alvarez started throwing, Kovalev would just put up a tight guard and backed out of there, right?
Mm-hmm.
He used his jab, took away Alvarez's jab.
Showed a lot of discipline.
Yeah, he wasn't there for the receipt. He was pivoting to the left, stepping over to the right after every time he threw his combination. And, you know, he took a lot of power off his shots. He was probing a lot. In the first 6 rounds, he was really classy, using his lead hand to control the opponent and just feinting with the lead hand. It went back to the Kovalev that fought Bernard Hopkins, I thought. And even though he couldn't maintain it as well for 12 rounds, by the time they got to like 7th and 8th round, I think Alvarez was just frustrated and tired and started lunging in. And yeah, really good performance, I thought. It seems like his power's gone, maybe, and now he's relying more on his boxing skills, which is good to see, because you can't just run through everybody. Maybe he's no longer the crusher. Maybe he's just, you know.
Precise, real quick. You know what I thought?
He's got a good fucking jab, though.
Yeah, he still got that great jab. This is what I thought. I thought that he was, like you said, I think you said the best way. He was taking a lot off of his power and just, you know, focusing on landing, you know, points, hitting him with fast combinations. I thought that he was so calm that it almost stopped him from, at points, at least dropping Alvarez or keeping him hurt. Maybe he could have even stopped him late, but he just said, "No, I'm not going to take that chance. I'm just going to stick with what's winning me the fight. It's just I'm going to take some off these punches and just land combinations and keep him at bay." Because you saw in the 12th round when I guess Alvarez was like kind of desperate, you know, he started coming in and then you started seeing Kovalev have enough energy to throw some more zip with those punches, and you saw that he got Alvarez's attention. I thought that he could have. I don't have a problem with the performance, obviously, because I thought he could have won every single round, right? But I thought that he was so calm that at points he even cost himself maybe a knockdown at the very least.
Yeah, you know, you can't run through everybody, so I think he's realizing that.
I think that's what it was too.
Really good performance. I mean, Alvarez had really good defense too, so he wasn't very easy to hit. But I mean, he just outboxed him on the front foot, controlled distance really well. I think that was the main thing.
Would you score at Precise?
I gave Alvarez 1, maybe 2 rounds.
Yeah, did you guys?
I had a 10-2, bro. Yeah.
Did you guys think that 121, that 121.09 or 110 card was too wide, or
108?
No, that was fine.
That was.
I think that was accurate.
Yeah, I think it was fine, bro.
He could have won every single round.
They tried to fuck him, bro. I don't know if you guys noticed. Luis Pabon was all over his ass. He was warning him for the same things that Alvarez was doing, and when Alvarez did it, he still warned Kovalev. Yeah, and like it wasn't obnoxious, but I don't know, man. Like they didn't want him to win, man.
You know what, Precise? I said the same thing with Pacquiao and Bronner. Like, what fucking 4 rounds did you give this guy, dog? Like,
yeah, seriously.
Bronner was robbed.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I heard that shit, Zapata. Yeah.
But that's the thing, though.
That fool barely won 2 rounds, man.
That guy won, but to see that is just like, Jesus Christ. What rounds did you give to him? You know what I mean? And let's say he won 4 rounds. He probably would have won the fight.
If he would have legitimately won 4 rounds, they would probably give him an extra 3.
Jeez. I didn't give that motherfucker 1 round.
They probably gave him a draw or something, just to keep Bruno
fuck
relevant.
Max Kellerman. Sorry, bro.
Oh yeah, Kellerman. Let's get to Kellerman. Fucking official boxing scorecard posted a picture in the group hangout chat room where you see Max Kellerman looks completely dejected. I don't know if the picture was taken after the Kovalev won or not. It looked like he was watching his mother get raped. The expression on his face. I mean, I'm thinking, this guy. You know what? I'm gonna try to get the picture. I'm gonna try to get the picture, but he looks dejected. What does this guy have against Kovalev, man?
I just think it's the politics, man. It's the politics with America and Russia today. You know, the beef that they have, or the beef they're trying to have, or whatever.
Recognize you wanna replace American with something else, possibly a religion, one of the Abrahamic religions of some sort.
Yeah, one of the three religions of Abraham.
Right.
You take a guess.
That's what I said, BDA. I was
religion.
That's what I said. That's what I said, BDA. I was like, at least he called out Lawrence Cole on his bullshit of all his faults.
Hey guys,
you know.
So what happens now if Kovalev is found guilty and he gets sued and what he goes to jail, gets stripped or what?
All right, hold on, Gonzalo. We'll get to that. We'll get to that, but we just want to.
That's fucked up how they're pushing that agenda. They never did that shit with Floyd.
Well, hold on. We're gonna get to that, but before we wanna finish on Kellerman. Anybody else got anything to say about Kellerman?
Kellerman.
Max Kellerman. I noticed that he ain't
he's fucking on cocaine and shit.
Max Kellerman. You know what I noticed about him? This time recognized he ain't no spring chicken anymore. He looks old. He's over 50. He's got gray hair and shit.
No,
he looks worn out.
look his eyes. His eyes look worn out.
No, I'm gonna say Kellerman.
He's on drugs.
If I had to get Kellerman is in his mid to late 40s for sure.
Looks older.
He looks he's getting up.
He's aging exponentially. You know.
He's on that dog food, bro. He's on that.
Yeah, besides, what did you call him again?
Max Kellerman,
a Jew.
Oh, whoa! Now wait a minute.
That's uncalled for. Guys.
We're gonna get shut down.
Exactly. Kick him off, please. Kick him off. I'm triggered.
We're gonna get shut down here.
You two, we apologize.
I think he's got jungle fever, though. That's for sure.
Oh, definitely. That's a given.
Yeah.
Listen, that's no doubt about that. You just have to follow his history from the mid-90s to the ESPN days. I mean, he's got jungle fever, man. He wants Spike Lee to sit on his lap.
It's one thing to have jungle fever, but I don't think he has jungle fever for women.
Oh,
Is he married? Is he like?
Elton John was married too.
I mean,
Elton John was married.
Kovalev is married, and he still got himself in that situation. So
exactly.
These guys,
didn't he have it 3-2 after 5 or like 4-1 or something crazy like that? Like, just come on, dude.
He had a 4-1. Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Hey, by the way, did you guys
fingers up his ass?
Mike Coppinger, by the way. Mike Coppinger got the same thing going on. I don't know if you guys know about him, but he scored the first Kovalev Ward fight big for Andre, and he had this one really tight.
Didn't he have an 8-4 for Andre Ward, the first fight?
Something like that, yeah.
That's ridiculous. That's fucking ridiculous.
That's like literally giving him, if you got it, this is the way I see it, in my opinion. If you gave 8-4 to Ward, you're literally giving a lot of rounds that Kovalev was winning to Andre Ward. You're just saying, I'm going to put a Ward on that one.
Can I say something real quick? I would like to challenge anyone to make a film study and show me which rounds Ward won.
Oh, dude. Okay, check this out.
No more than 3 or 4.
Precise remembers this. There was this weirdo that tried to challenge, I believe it was Precise, who made a film study. Not scoring the fight, he was just showing all the fouls that Andre Ward did in the first fight. All the fouls he did, right? He took it like round by round. And this guy tried to make a film study of how Andre Ward won 7 rounds or 8 rounds, whatever.
Get out of here, man.
Dude, the guy is literally, you see Kovalev landing punches and Andre Ward hitting Kovalev's arm. And he says, you see that exchange? I got to give it to Andre Ward.
He was putting low blows, shots to the back. He was just saying, great body work by Andre. And he's low blowing like him.
Well, what's his name?
I forgot.
Torres made some great breakdowns of that fight too.
Yeah,
what was his name, bro?
Hey, no, he was a white cat.
I'm sure he was. What was his name? Come on, we need his name.
I just forgot his name, man.
Oh, come on. All right. Well, if anybody can remember the guy's name, the weirdo's name, let's bring
He's
it up.
a fake.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Was he old?
No, he was like one of those, honorary white guys, honorary black guys that are white.
Hey, by the way, speaking, because I don't want to go back to the fucking. I know where this is going. This is gonna turn into a Kovalev Ward rematch discussion.
By the way, kill yourself if you hate your own race.
Oh, no, but hold on a second. Hold on. I want to say something here before, because I know where this is going. This is going into Ward Kovalev rematch territory. I just want to say, did you guys see the Instagram post that Kovalev made after the fight? He was celebrating.
No, what did it say? BDA?
No. Well, I can't play the clip, but I can play the audio. I don't know if I should play it.
Play it.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is how he celebrates. He celebrates with vodka and women with their dogs. So. All right. So I don't know.
I have a lot of respect for Kovalev.
Oh yeah.
The hood and down.
The guy's a nut
Get a
job.
knockout last night, I guess.
Well, he almost did. Well, he put a beating on Alvarez that last round. That's for sure. I think Gonzalo mentioned that too.
BDA, he's talked. The joke was about the woman, but you missed it.
Hey, recognize that's what I had said about Fury and Wilder, bro. I had cats telling me Wilder won 8 rounds and 7 rounds and shit. I'm like, bro, come sit down with me and show me which 8 rounds Wilder won against Fury, bro. Like, you're full of shit, dog. You're full of shit, bro.
There's no way he won no fucking 8 rounds, man.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Sit the fuck down somewhere, bro.
What fantasy world did he win it?
What are they watching, man?
You know what I like those ones that respond. Wait, we're not gonna do that. No, we are gonna do that. We're gonna do that.
Most people don't even watch boxing. They don't even watch boxing, and they just see the knockdown, and they're like, "Oh my god, he almost had him out," and that's
Like,
how
bro,
they connotate into the
Like, bro, fucking Ray Charles could score these fights better than you guys can. Holy shit!
You know what these people say? It's like, oh, I've never seen somebody go down twice and win a fight. It's like, do you understand how boxing is?
How about Bernard Hopkins versus John
yeah.
Pascal? I mean, come on, man. What you mean you never saw a guy get knocked down twice and win a fucking? You don't watch?
They don't watch boxing.
They don't watch boxing.
How about Corrales Castillo?
Yeah, he got knocked down a few
That
times.
shit was
and he stopped
gangster.
him.
Yeah, that shit was gangster as fuck. Exactly.
But then Castillo shut it down in the second fight.
Yeah.
He said, "I had enough of this. Go down." You knocked that boy out, man. I know that first fight was classic, but the second fight, Castillo is gangster, bro. He just hooked
What
that
happened
boy.
to the third fight? Why didn't it happen?
Somebody tested positive for something. I forgot.
No.
Really?
Castillo showed up. Castillo showed up. He missed weight again, and Corrales said, "Fuck it." After the second fight, he didn't want any of that again.
Fucking
Castillo missed weight, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't Freitas beat Corrales back in the day too?
No, he got knocked out by Corrales.
No, I think he beat Freitas.
Yeah, Corrales beat Freitas. Yeah.
Did he do by stoppage?
Yeah, by stoppage. That was when.
Casamiro beat him before, I think. No.
Was that?
Casamiro and Freitas.
What about him?
Casamayor.
That was
no,
a fight
Freitas beat Casamayor.
All right, okay, hold on a second. Is it
remember.
Freitas or Freitas? Because I don't.
Freitas.
All right, whatever.
Freitas.
Yeah.
All right.
He's Brazilian cat. He was from Brazil.
Yeah.
I believe.
And
he beat Arcelino. Arcelino beat Arcelino, right? With an R? A-R?
I don't fucking know.
Whatever, man. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So Arcelino beat Casamayor. It went the distance. And then Corrales had beat Freitas, and then Casamayor beat. Remember, he beats fucking what's his name? Corrales by stoppage. It was kind of controversial, and then Corrales came back and beats him.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And by the way, Shepherd the Sons in the chat room says Floyd dogged Freitas. I knew that was gonna come. I knew he was gonna. People are gonna say he ducked Casamayor, Freitas. Listen, the fucker had to move. At least I give Floyd credit. He moved up and he fought the #1 lightweight in Castillo twice. So can't really blame the guy for that. Why did we start talking about
Bob Arum?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Castillo beat him.
You're putting me in too much tough fights. God damn it.
By the way, in the chat says the Shepherd of Sons says the Floyd dogged Freitas.
everybody's missing something. I misrecognized jokes earlier, and people called me out on it in the chat. Now Bucho misses the fact that I just brought that comment up. What's next?
Oh,
Who else
did, man? I dropped off.
Well, this is proof they're the same person. This is proof.
Yeah, exactly.
The chat is full of sexual deviant.
Who's a sexual deviant?
Yo, I got a question. What do y'all think of Loma and Richard Comey, bro? What do y'all think of that?
Oh, that's a.
I suspect that Loma's just gonna outbox him, probably stop him late. Comey has a shot. He has power, but he's kind of slow, bro.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Recognize
he's wide open too.
That's another one too. He's wide open. It's just gonna be more than likely Lomachenko outboxing him for 12 rounds, or maybe even stop.
That was gonna embarrass him.
Yeah,
Nicholas Walters. I think Loma got to get inside and trash him.
Well, I was just gonna say, bro. I was looking at the dimensions, and Kami does got 6 inches of reach on Loma. So
that don't mean shit. I think so did Walters, didn't he?
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, bro.
Yeah,
like he's tall. He's tall. You know, I'll give him that. He's a tall guy. He comes with the right game plan.
He's got power. He's got power at the end of his punches too.
Yeah, he could probably give. He could probably give Lomachenko an issue. But if I had to just go by that style of fighting, the history of going against Loma, it's a bad style.
And then, and think about it too. We saw him against the kid, right, who's straightforward, back and forth. You know what I mean? Straight lines. Loma's the king of angles. Yeah. He's going to be able to throw those straight, right, long fucking shots when the kid's dipsy-dooding, tapping you in the shoulder and fucking taking, calling someone on his cell phone at the same time.
Jimmy, like on that. Go ahead, Zapata. Go ahead.
Like on that Gamalier Rodriguez fight, yeah, he works fucking badass angles, man. Lomachenko, the thing with Lomachenko is I think he's already fucking damaged goods, man. Like his amateur career is fucking way too much. I think the standards we hold that guy up to is fucking ridiculous. I don't think there's anybody with that much fights that we hold up to the same standards as we hold Lomachenko up to. It's fucking it's
nice
crazy.
To hear somebody say that. Good to hear somebody say that.
No, you're probably right.
No, he's 100% right. It's ridiculous the standards he's held to. You just go on Twitter, it's insane. You look at his resume, the fucking one world champion after another, quitting. I mean, these are world level fucking guys he's making quit. Walters was a badass, but listen, when you get so fucking emotionally drained, you get so tired just watching his moving his hands, and that fucking dude, I'm telling you, his father's he's as impressed as, put it this way, when I'm sitting around other guys like Mickey Ward and they're watching him and they're all like got their mouths on their chest going, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You
hear Tim Bradley talk about him. Tim Bradley's like, holy shit.
Jimmy, they don't know boxing, but some of these channels, they do know boxing, more than professional boxers. And
I know.
And they're not impressed. They're not impressed by Lomachenko.
I know.
Yeah.
They're
impressed by Charlo though. That's right.
Charlo.
and Triple G's ducking Charlo.
Triple G,
big time, and everybody in the hood knows it.
Yo, if he doesn't go up in weight and fight Andrew Tabiti, he's fucking ducking, bro. I don't want to hear nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
After that last performance,
is moving up because Tabiti's taking over. That's why. So he said, "Let me get out of here."
Yeah.
Yeah. Usyk, who just wiped out the cruiserweight division. Yeah, that guy's scared of Tabiti.
Who's that guy? Seriously, who's that guy?
Yeah, that's what I say too. I don't know. I wish I could answer that question. Yeah, that is, man. You're right. I'm sorry. I should know who he is. This powerful man. This powerful black person? Man.
He's a Kang.
Of all.
Yeah, if 42-year-old Pacquiao doesn't go up and fight Danny Jacobs, he's ducking, bro. Come on now.
Well, fuck it. Might as well Loma fight Ward. Fuck it.
Yes.
Remember, right after Lomachenko beat Rigondeaux, but Crawford's gonna knock him out. Like Crawford was like at 140 at that time. We'll be like, come on, man.
God damn.
But I mean, you can understand a little of it. I mean, listen, in
Now that was racist. What just happened there?
Yeah, Lomachenko's garbage, but you guys are impressed by fucking Robot Wilder, though, aren't you?
I got whacked again, man.
Listen, and I'm gonna tell you this. Look, Lomachenko is a very good fighter, and do some people overrate him sometimes? I guess there's people out there that do that. I guess there is, but there's nothing like the way they overrate a guy like Wilder. Who's got
no right?
What the Precise say? What the Precise told that dude that came on to sell his channel? He said, "I got shit credentials, but I knew he was gonna outbox the shit. I knew Tyson Fury was gonna outbox the shit out of Wilder." Those guys were so silent after that.
Was that the New Jersey guy?
Yeah.
Floyd put HBO out of business. When I heard that, I was like, okay, unplug time.
Yeah.
Unplug time.
But that statement was like right on, because it was just like, look, dude, this guy's a horrible fighter. I don't think Precise has shit credential. I'm not gonna say that, but I guess he was just trying to make a point that, look, I'm nobody. Right? I'm a nobody in the boxing world of commentating, in the mainstream or whatever, right? But what does that have to do with me knowing the simple, just simple boxing, that this guy's a bum? The way
it's like these boxing historians. Yeah, these boxing historians who, they know every single fight in history and whatever. But they can't make a fucking decent prediction,
Max Kellerman telling me about some guy who has 600 fights.
Yeah.
He won 400, lost 200. I'm like, I don't care about this guy. Oh, but Louis to whatever, Arvarelli went 400 wins with 200 losses. He got knocked out 100 times, and he was one of the greatest fighters of all time.
Wait a minute, did he do one of his speeches last night? One of his pre speeches, Max?
No, he did one of his speeches about the Russians are coming and how that was how that was stopped by the great American fighters. He did that speech. You gotta listen to it in the beginning.
And the whole time Ward is just like with his smirk, he's smiling and stuff, while Kellerman is just praising him.
Ward was smiling because he was the middleman. Fucking think about it. That third seat on the outside and broadcaster, Ward. Because remember, Ward was kind of this junior color guy when he was when he was on with HBO. Now he was ESPN, he was in the middle chair, and there was fucking Kettleman, the low man on the totem pole. Fuck Kettleman, man. He says some stupid shit.
And Andre Ward is pushing over 200. I was looking at that dude. I was like, this dude's pushing over 200 pounds.
I'm probably going to catch him shit, but I don't mind him as a commentary. I don't mind his work. I think he does a pretty good job.
He's actually calling the fight right. It's kind of weird seeing this crooked fighter. He could actually call the fight, like really, really good. So I'll give him credit for that, man.
No, hey Jimmy, that's what I told Recognize yesterday, bro. I'm the same way with Paulie. Like Paulie says a lot of stupid shit, but when he's doing his commentating, for the most part, he does a decent job. You know what I'm saying? So.
I just take issue with that clown. He was on some fucking fight sites recently. Somebody DM'd me, and I went and checked the video, and he's calling fans, but combat sport fans, come on, they're annoying with his fucking whiny Brooklyn fucking accent. And he was saying he just stupid shit. He was even actually getting the guys on that panel. I think it was MMA Junkie, whatever.
Yeah.
But he was bad mouthing fucking MMA fans, bad mouthing box fans. I'm like, dude, you'd be fucking selling stereos at fucking Mario's down in Brooklyn if it fucking wasn't for fans, you douchebag.
Getting beat up by Italians that don't like you.
Fucking bro. Well, you know what pisses me off, bro, is when he starts going in on Pacquiao, and I'm like, bro, you and Pacquiao aren't even in the same fucking universe, bro. You guys aren't even like, come on, man. Like, shut your mouth, dog. You want to fucking stroke Floyd off 24/7.
To smear him the way he did was terrible. He smeared him without evidence. And if you want to say everybody's dirty, say everybody's dirty. But he fucking singled out Pacquiao for years to say he's dirty without a stitch of evidence other than, because I know.
Where did all the jealousy come from?
Fuck.
Where did all the jealousy come from?
They just attention. He's a Filipino fucking kid from the rice fields of Philippines. And he's the fucking, you know, and he's fucking, I mean, come on, look at the level of success he's achieved. And here's this cocky Italian fucking loudmouth who's fucking couldn't break a grape skin.
You know what it was to me? Before the Cotto fight, Malignaggi said that there's no way Pacquiao beats Cotto, and if he does, he's one of the greatest fighters of all time.
I remember that. I remember that.
That's what happened.
And he pulled off one of the greatest performances against Cotto of all time. How he beat Cotto up. I mean, how can you not say that's like one of the best? Consider the opponent.
I think Margarito was the best performance. He fucked him up.
Because he beat a Mexican,
think about
right?
this, dude. Hey, Paulie Malignaggi, wrap it up like this, right? He's a man in his 30s on national TV talking about a side piece. You know what I mean? It's like a side piece. She was just a side piece.
Look,
you know what I mean?
He was about to cry, man. He was about to cry. Go watch that interview. He was about to cry.
I took your belt in your side piece.
Here's the thing, bro. If you want to like Floyd, that's fine, bro. But at the same time, don't be Pacquiao's clearly one of the best fighters of all time, in my opinion. And I remember just said this yesterday. Just the Morales and Barrera and Marquez fights alone. That alone gets you in the Hall of Fame, not to mention Cotto, Margarito, Bradley, and all the rest of these guys, bro. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, Manny Pacquiao.
Ricky Haddon? That was a crazy fucking knockout.
That was scary, man.
That was
He was like about to die, bro.
And then don't forget, you know,
I think BDA wants to say something.
Well, thank you, Recognized. Yeah, just the thing also is like everything he did in the pre-2008. That's Hall of Fame. Like Johnny Boy said, everything else is just icing on the cake. Really,
no, that's
right.
And the thing is, he didn't become a problem. It didn't become a problem with, at least for me, that noticing the hate towards Pacquiao. It didn't become a problem when until he started challenging the higher weights and he started getting closer to Floyd. That's when it became a problem. Listen, Mexican fans, like I said, they're one of the best boxing fans. They didn't have a problem with Manny Pacquiao beating their boy. Right, when he beat them, it just like the Mexican fans were like, "Damn boy, this fucking Asian dude could fight. We need somebody to beat him." That's it. That's how the Mexicans.
I remember when Pacquiao
Mexicans were looking at it. They're like, "Yo, we just need somebody to beat him." But we like to see him fight though.
When Pacquiao beat Barrera in Texas, you could see the fans were like applauding. You know, they gave respect, but they weren't fucking going crazy.
I was always a Pacquiao fan from the jump. The only time I think I was against Pacquiao was against Marquez, because I am a Marquez fan. But at the same time, I do believe he was juicing for that fight. You know what I'm saying?
To ask you a question. Who's the biggest Pacquiao fan?
What do you
in this in the hangout? You mean? Fan? Well, hold on. In the hangout, you mean? Apology. Are you talking about in the hangout or?
Just guess.
Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd is the biggest.
He was the biggest Pacquiao fan ever.
Yeah.
You know what, bro? And the thing is, dude, like the part of Illinois I'm from, bro, the majority's Mexican and Puerto Rican, bro. Like, they love Pacquiao. They don't give a fuck. They like him. He goes out there and bangs all the time.
That's a high crime rate, I bet.
Hell yeah, I never go to that motherfucker right there.
When Pacquiao was fighting Marcus Zapata, I was rooting for Pacquiao. Hey, what do you think about this?
What's the matter with you? Traitor. We got a traitor here.
What do you think about this?
Traitor. I said traitor. What was that?
Traitor.
When
no, don't feel bad. When Pacquiao fought Cotto, I was, man.
You have a vendetta with Cotto, so we know about it.
Yeah.
Hey, Cotto's got the best motherfucking footwork we've seen in a long time, though, man.
He does.
I think
I'll
his
give that a little
footwork was
faggot.
underrated, man. That motherfucker has a lot of rhythm, bro.
I like this footwork when they had the fuzzy slippers on him down the wild card.
Zapata, that's all that little ballroom dancing he does. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey guys,
He is fucking hella
guys,
queer though, man.
let Gonzalo was gonna finish saying.
Go ahead, Gonzalo.
What's up?
Yeah. Just yeah, he did display good footwork in the Cotto fight. Oh, what I was gonna say is, when people rate, like, you have like these different ESPN, and like when they rate like the top 10 greatest fighters at lightweight, at welterweight, of all time. When they say, like, for example, Roberto Duran is the greatest lightweight of all time. Since Pacquiao only had one fight at 140 against Ricky Hatton,
and at 135,
which is actually which is actually closest to his natural weight. But he only did like one fight at 140. I don't know how many at 135. But where would you put him? What division would you put him, or how do you place him in those lists?
You know what? Is Precise still on? Precise still on?
Yeah. What's up?
Go ahead. Precise. Where would you rate him in what weight class?
What was his best weight class? Where he did his best work?
Yeah.
Welterweight. He had the whole division. He had the whole division on lock. Nobody.
Here's the crazy thing, right? I wanted somebody like Precise to say that, because I thought to myself, since he's fought at welterweight, besides fucking Marquez, that's it. Besides Marquez, what natural welterweight beat him? Like, clearly beat him. No
Jeff Horn. No, just kidding. Just kidding, dude. Just fucking beat it, Dink.
Here's the thing with that. Recognize.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be? It's just speculation. But since he only had one fight at 140, and he moved up because he didn't have any challenges. I mean, you can't have it, and it's only in theory because he didn't fight more than one time there. It could be said that he could have been the greatest. He could have been the greatest lightweight of all time, right?
True. Yeah. You see, this is why when I say, like, this is one of the greatest fighters I've ever seen. Look, I'm sorry, I didn't live in the fucking 1950s and the 1940s, right? I wouldn't.
How dare you?
Here. I'm sorry, Joe BD. I wouldn't be here talking to you right now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. So I can't speak for Sugar Ray Robinson. I can't speak for all these dudes. I mean, I'm sure they were great fighters in their time. So I only go by what I've seen with my own eyes. This is why I say he's top 3, one of the greatest fighters I've ever seen.
But I think Gonzalo.
Just real quick,
Gonzalo, is your point that if Pacquiao would have stayed at 130 or 135 or 140, he would have been nearly invincible because of the fact that he was fighting guys his size while retaining speed and power?
But we didn't get to see that. So the proof is not in the pudding, but it was actually that he had the capabilities to do so, but he moved up to welterweight and accomplished there because he had no challenges in the divisions that he could have been the greatest.
The beginnings were at welterweight. The beginnings were at welterweight, though.
Yeah.
So maybe.
Sorry, I'm stupid delay, dude. I apologize, guys.
I think he gives Roberto Duran all kinds of problem at 135, 147, anywhere. I think he gives Duran a whole bunch of problems.
That would be a great fight.
135. If he stayed at 135, he would have been, because Freddie.
Roberto Duran was Filipino too, right?
I think Jimmy's trying to say something.
No, I was going to say. Freddie said. Freddie Roach used to.
Father. Sorry, go ahead.
His father's Mexican. What are you talking about, man? You're trolling. Recognize he's trolling.
No, Roberto Duran is half Panamanian. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, but he's trolling. That's why he said Filipino. He's trying to troll BDA, the Mexican OG. That's why.
Yeah, he's
go ahead, Jimmy, man. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say Freddie Roach said that Pacquiao, because he would say it all the time, he could easily get down to 135. Because he was just putting emphasis on how not natural it is for him to be fighting at 147. He said it all the time. He said, I would love for him to go to 130. But he would have been invincible. Nobody would have touched him at 135.
Dude, who at 135, if he could make it naturally still with no problems, who could beat him there at 135?
Now?
Maybe
Lomachenko.
Lomachenko. I would say
Tank Davis.
Lomachenko.
But now, no, I'd say Lomachenko would beat him. Absolutely. Now, today,
I wouldn't blame you for picking him, but he could. If he hits Lomachenko, it's gonna be some fucking problems.
Yeah, it will.
He starts nailing
Lomachenko's being hit by guys hit just as hard as Pacquiao hits today. I mean, think about it. Other than whatever that fucking stiff was, I mean, he hasn't knocked out anybody out. He hasn't knocked anybody out in
and you might
a decade,
be right, Jimmy.
right since 2009. So he stopped to be. He realized with age. He just kind of changed his approach, and he stopped. Although, who was it that he stopped? It was a bum fight.
He stopped Matisse. Listen.
Oh yeah, Lucas Matisse was done.
I agree with you. He didn't score as many knockouts as he did when he went up to welterweight. But that also had to do with a lot of these guys' game plans. Once they fought Pacquiao, and they felt a little bit of it, they started running. These guys started not fighting. They started fighting to just go the distance.
Yeah, I recognize. I think if you had to rank him historically, it would have to be either at featherweight or welterweight, just because he only had a couple of fights at lightweight. But like you said, had he just stuck around at 135, bro, he would have been unstoppable, dog. Like,
look, it all comes down to opinions, right? It's all opinion. Like, look, to me, I'm always hearing about guys being highly ranked because they did something that nobody's ever done. Well, then let's go look at Pacquiao. Pacquiao is the only flyweight to ever even win featherweight. Never mind welterweight. He's the only flyweight to be a champion at flyweight. Excuse me. And to ever go all the way to 126 and win a belt. Now, that might change with this Anui guy, right? Whatever. Anui might do that because he looks big as fuck. But nobody's even done that. Nobody in the history of boxing, no one's ever done that. Then he's just adding. He's like Tom Brady, adding more rings to. He already broke the record, and he's trying to add to it. Okay. Then Pacquiao goes all the way to welterweight and is dominating welterweights for like 10 years. Yeah. He's been up there for like since 2009, 2008.
Jimmy. Oh, no, I was going to say, but in their prime, though, and again, I was talking about Pacquiao today at 41, fighting Lomachenko. I put my money on Lomachenko. At his prime, in his prime, though, when at 135, if he was his age, no, fucking no way. I wouldn't put anybody against Pacquiao. I mean, I wouldn't because Pacquiao doesn't lose. He's a killer.
As good as Lomachenko looks at every weight class he's fought in, and at 135. And I know David Diaz is not the greatest fighter, not the greatest example, but go look at that performance, bro. Tell me how many people could counter what he was doing in that fight.
Yeah.
How do you stop that? Like, how do you just
I
stop
thought
that shit?
I thought fucking Freddie was in there hitting me too.
Isn't that what Diaz said?
Yeah, he's like, he's so fucking fast, man. He's so fucking fast.
I thought fucking Freddie was in there hitting me too.
Since 2009, when he stopped knocking people out,
they ran.
In every fight he had after that, all these opponents, they at least touched the canvas, except for what? Claudian Rios?
Yeah. That's a good fucking point.
Everybody
That's the
touched
thing.
the canvas.
And if you look, and if Gonzalo, most of the guys that he didn't knock out has never been knocked out, right?
Yeah.
Now let's go to, with the exception of Margarito, right? Margarito got stopped by Sugar Shane Mosley in some awkward situation, right? There was some awkward. Look, you give Shane Mosley credit. I'm just going to give him credit for stopping him. That's it. No excuses. But he didn't stop him a fight that should have been stopped. I think that most people would agree. They should have stopped that fight.
Right.
He was beating up a guy that was 6 inches taller than him, bro. Had 6 inches in reach over him and outweighed him naturally by like 20 to 25 pounds.
I do that every day.
What was Floyd doing? What was? Go ahead, B.
And I said I do that every day, but it's the interesting thing here. But I just wanted to ask something. But go ahead, Bucho, just because I want to bring up Edwin Valero because we're talking about lightweight. But go ahead, Bucho. Yeah.
I just want to say during that time, that period when Pacquiao was a welterweight, what was Floyd doing? You know what I mean?
Oh,
and that's why he envied Pacquiao for the longest of time.
Well,
he retired.
He had retired and came back.
Oh yeah, he was retired. That's right. Yeah.
He fought a fat Marquez. All right, let's give him credit for
Robles
that.
Guerrero, Victor Ortiz.
come on, he beat Mosley at least.
Dude, he waited him out for
Burrito.
5 years. He waited for him to get knocked out. He waited for him to make sure he lost all his power. Didn't have the same power as he used to have. 5 years he made that motherfucker wait. That was such a fucking
and
Victoria Ortiz.
and used PEDs.
And Pacquiao was injured to make it even worse. He didn't want to pull out.
He used PEDs for that fight. They test the shit out of Manny Pacquiao, and all that to play tag you're it.
Draining blood. I don't know how much blood he got fucking taken.
Well, and still almost got dropped.
Well, didn't they walk in on him with an IV in his arm? I mean, somebody walked in. He was sitting with an IV.
Xylocaine or some shit.
I mean, you can't have anything.
He was sticking Xylocaine.
No, he was cleansing his blood or something of that nature. Right?
He said he was dehydrated. His report to the Nevada, he had to give a statement, and he said he was so physically dehydrated that he knew drinking electrolytes wasn't going to do it. He needed to get electrolytes into his system. He wasn't sure if it was illegal or not. And they're like, it's illegal. You can't.
How is a career welterweight dehydrated?
Mayweather never broke that shit down pretty good.
Mayweather never had weight issues. He was natural welterweight.
Dude, think about it. He walks around at 157 pounds. He fights at 140, 54, 152 sometimes, right? I mean, for Christ.
Oh, everybody dropped off. Well, not everybody, but...
Except me, man. Except me.
And by the way, Johnny Boy.
Yes, sir.
Just talk to the guy about the thing. All right? You know what I'm talking about? If you can talk to the guy about the thing, and if you can get a prize before Saturday, that'd be great, all right?
You BDA, you gotta go in there and get the thing and make it come out of the fucking stomach like that movie.
Well, wait a second.
Ate up the fucking people on the space.
Johnny Boy, what thing is he talking about? He's talking about the first thing or the second thing?
Yeah.
All right. Listen, I just wanted to bring up. You were talking about Pacquiao and about who could challenge him. One of the biggest what ifs in boxing would have been Edwin Valero, because that guy was like the Venezuelan Pacquiao. And he
was good, man. He was good. I don't know what happened there. It sounds like something else happened, but I would say this: that he was. Look, man, I can't see nobody beating Pacquiao in this era at that weight class, but he did seem explosive.
You know what's interesting? BDA?
What's that?
My neighbor in Tijuana, Mexico, the guy that lives right next to my house, he fought Hector Velasquez. He fought Manny Pacquiao. And he fought Edwin Valero.
Oh, Hector Velasquez was your neighbor?
Yeah, I grew up with Hector Velasquez.
Hey, Gonzalo.
Yeah.
Hey, have you ever heard of Mantecas Medina?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's down there on Market. I think he was training down there. He was training kids down there on Market. Or Imperial or something like that.
Yeah, I know where that's when Cap Castro trains.
No, I think I saw Manuel.
At the Cleto Reyes store.
I saw Manuel Medina.
Good too.
I saw Manuel Medina selling DVDs at the flea market the other day. But sorry, go ahead.
BDA. I grew up in Tijuana, and I used to go to El Cheto's Boxing Club. And me and Hector Velasquez, we started training together. I was like 13, and he was like 15. He was already fighting amateur. He came from Mazatlan, and he lived next to my house in La Colonia El Soler in Tijuana. And we used to run to the beach every day. We'd spar, I put some beatings, well, not beatings, but, I would hit him a lot, and he would tell the trainer, hey, why
beat the shit out of him?
Look at this guy, man.
And he would tell the trainer,
I knocked him down.
Why does Gonzalo hit me so easily? Yeah, and also
you suck.
The guy that put down De La Hoya the first time I was telling Recognized yesterday, he also used to train there, and he was the one that used to teach me a lot too. His name was Narciso Valenzuela.
All right, but hold on. Okay, you're going all over the place. All right, Gonzalo, you're going all over the place. Were you gonna tie that in with Valero or?
Well, Edwin Valero, he fought both of them, and I asked, Hector Velasquez. So what's the deal with both? Who's better or who hits the hardest? And you know what he told me? That Pacquiao is the greatest fighter he's ever been in the ring with.
I think Pacquiao would have been too strong for him. I think it's a great fight, but ultimately Pacquiao wears him out and stops him late. Just my opinion.
Yeah, I just don't see nobody in this era beating him, man, in those lower weight classes. And Valero was good. Don't get me wrong. He was very good. He was explosive, but
Valero
so
was
Pacquiao,
good,
man.
but
So is Pacquiao, bro. Pacquiao was the ultimate explosive fighter at that weight class.
Wait, but hold on. Hey, Marcus
remember-
arguably beat Pacquiao when they fought in those lower weights. So that was a 50-50 fight.
Marquez is a legendary fighter. I mean, listen, you know,
I think
Marquez
Marquez over Valero, though. I would.
Yeah, me too. I would take Marquez over. Maybe he gives Barrera a good fight, and Morales. He probably. I don't know. Maybe he could have beaten those.
But Marquez goes down like always.
Yeah, but Marquez goes down and probably puts him down afterwards.
Right.
The thing
That's the thing about Marquez. You put him down, he puts you. Next thing you know,
he was like Trinidad.
Yeah. That's
like, that's like that. He went down all the time, but got back up.
Better technical fighter than Trinidad, but I see what you're saying.
It's weird, but the thing with Edwin Valero is that he had a motorcycle accident, and he couldn't get his license because he had like this abnormality in his skull. I don't know if it was a tumor or a cracked skull.
He couldn't get a license here in the States.
Yeah, but they say he was actually kind of crazy. Because he was like really aggressive. Look what ultimately happened to him.
Well, they're saying
he was
that
really aggressive.
Suicide.
Yeah, but he was his personality was really aggressive, and they said that in the gym that he used to train the same way, like he was possessed by a demon.
Oh.
People saw him train, and he was like, no, he wasn't normal when he was training. People would actually like be bewildered like by looking at him training. He actually looked possessed.
Well, you know what, Gonzalo? The guy.
I sparred plenty of those motherfuckers.
The guy.
I sparred plenty of those demon acting motherfuckers in the gym, man. I see them show up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They show up fucking. Man.
No, but not like that. Not like that. Just putting in the work, dedication. Not like crazy fronty. Not like that.
We call it rhino and shit.
No, not like that. Not like grudge.
Well, I think what Zapata's saying is that there's certain guys, right, that they can overwhelm you with that that demon behavior, but there's also guys that love fighting dudes with demon behavior because they want to get killed, and there's certain guys that don't mind killing you.
No, I'm saying like this guy would go in there,
beating you up so bad that you die. You know, like they like.
I'm just saying this guy would go in there and skip rope nonstop, then go into another activity, get in the bag, and do his whole routine on the bag, and go do something else, and like that, and then go spar, a few fighters like they do nowadays, but you just put a lot of work. That's
I know it's like impossible to know, but what are the chances that Valero goes up to welterweight and dominates? You know what I mean?
I don't. You see, what are the chances that anybody goes up and dominates welterweight? Like from one.
Look, just special.
Look, Marquez, as good as Marquez is, right? As good as, and I don't think he's as good as Pacquiao. In the grand scheme, yes, he was a matchup. He was a matchup problem for Pacquiao. Okay, and I would agree with that. But Marquez, as good as he is, I think he would have beaten had he been given the chance or multiple chances like Pacquiao. He would have beat a lot of welterweights. Okay, he would have beat a lot of welterweights. But and remember where Marquez started. Marquez started at 122. So, I think it was 122. I'm not sure, but he started there and worked his way up. Right, he worked his way all the way up. So, just to show
Marquez ducked my coach.
Marquez ducked your coach.
No, he did real talk on some real shit. He did duck my coach back when they were like 122, 126 or something like that.
Yeah.
Who was your coach?
Yeah.
Who was your coach? Well, who was your coach, Zapata?
Jose Luis Noyola. He was a featherweight or lightweight champ back in the 90s.
Yeah, but by the way, hold on. I just want to get back to what Gonzalo said about the Valero being possessed. Valero. Apparently, Steve Kim, because Steve Kim was one of the guys that said that he was one of the guys that discovered him essentially, and he was the one that we used to talk about. This was pre-YouTube, by the way. You couldn't find Valero's fights unless you went on those share-to-share, peer-to-peer, torrent sites or whatever, and so nobody really knew about him. You would read shit about him in Ring Magazine here and there, but you never really knew who the fuck he was. But there was video
it's
afterwards.
Like an urban myth.
Right. And he said, that's the thing. Steve Kim said that there's three guys that were gym rats. Mayweather, Mosley, and he said Valero had that same drive. And the guy used to, I remember he used to say, the guy used to go to fights dressed like a vampire. And he had like wearing black coats and the hair slicked back. So he was from Venezuela. So you never know, man. Down there in the jungles, who the fuck knows what he was doing? Like incantations. Yeah, incantations or something.
Bro. Yeah.
But that's the thing about Valero. Was that?
Go ahead. I'm sorry, BDA.
Well, just one last thing. I just want to say, obviously, I just brought Valero up because it's an interesting character because we'll never know how good he would have been.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
That's like me telling you, listen, you know, I hope you guys believe me when I say this. I was a top prospect, brother. People were scared of me. Whether you believe, I mean, I might be telling the truth.
Oh, you might be, yeah. Well, you could.
But here's the thing: even if that's true or not, right? It ain't happened. So saying that I would saying that
same with me.
That's like me saying, you know, man, if I would have been, you know, on point,
would have, should have.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of choosing the street life over, you know, what I loved, that I would have beat Roy Jones. I would have beat, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
but one thing about Valero, BDA,
like, it's one of those things that, maybe you're right, but it didn't happen, bro.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, it's just a rhetorical.
Anybody when you
he got dropped by Vicente Mosquera.
Yeah, that was
Antonio DeMarco. He beat Antonio DeMarco.
Yeah, that's it.
One thing about Valero, he came in with his face wide open. That's what I noticed.
He would have got killed by Pacquiao. Come on, bro. Like if I had to guess, he would have gave Pacquiao a good fight. It would have been a back and forth first 6 rounds. He would have went back to his corner. They're like, your face is starting to like fall apart, bro.
it's fucking hamburger meat, bro.
Yeah, I think we should stop this fight. No, let him kill me.
Well, let me just say one thing about because Grievous in the chat room says Valero was a hard puncher, but he looked a bit one-dimensional. But that's the thing. If you watched his fight against DeMarco, for example, he was struggling a little bit in the first 3 rounds, and then he found his range, and he was just schooling DeMarco. And if you watch his sparring fights, his sparring videos on YouTube, the guy could control the range very well. In fact, there's a small clip out there where he's sparring Morales for when Morales was preparing for the first Pacquiao fight, and Valero was counter-punching pretty well in that one. So I wouldn't say he was one-dimensional, and he was what, 24, 25, something like. So it's just a rhetorical thing because we'll never know how good he could have been, like Salvador Sanchez, for example. But it's just an interesting subject.
Did De La Hoya kick him out of his gym when he was preparing for Pacquiao? He had Valero in there. Valero was kicking his ass, and De La Hoya fired him.
Yeah, that's what Valero said that after.
Hey, motherfucker, you're not supposed to beat the shit out of me.
Yeah, he really used to punch everybody hard in sparring, like with bad intentions.
Hey, but I mean, if you were to rate it under the Oscar De La Hoya was one of the best fucking fighters in the '90s, probably early 2000s and shit. But I mean, how would Edwin Valero do against Oscar De La Hoya? And just look at the performance Pacquiao did on
in his prime.
No, his prime, De La Hoya beats him.
Yeah, De La Hoya beats him.
Yeah, De La Hoya.
Yeah, but that's what.
Go ahead, Alvarez.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, like, I mean, if true. But I think Pacquiao ultimately would have outjabbed him, outclassed him at the end of the day, man. But I mean, it's going to be a what if, you know, at the end of the day. But I think Oscar De La Hoya was a better fighter than Edwin Valero, and I mean, he iced him quick, you know.
I tell you what.
The thing at BDA that I was saying is, what impact do you think that motorcycle accident might have affected his personality?
That's a good question.
Like that.
That's a good question. Yeah, because there's been plenty of people that when they get into accidents, especially when it involves head trauma. There was one guy. He got into an accident or something. I'm not kidding, by the way. This is gonna sound like a joke, but this really happened. This guy got into an accident. No, sorry, he had a tumor, but nobody knew. A tumor was pressing on his frontal cortex or prefrontal, the one that allows you to make decisions. And so he would go around unable to make this. He couldn't think ahead. So what was happening was it was affecting his libido. So he couldn't stop. He couldn't stop from groping women and watching porn on in public and shit like that. And when they found he had a tumor, when they found
that shit, man.
And then when they removed the tumor, he finally.
You walked on 3 legs all the time.
That's actually true. I know you're not joking, BD. I know that's actually true because it alters the areas of the brain. You know.
Well, listen, when you suffer a concussion, and I know because I suffered one. I suffered a concussion. It does.
Yeah, we can tell, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say
that. I have a concussion.
You go through 3 phases. There's like depression phase. There's this very angry. You go through a very like a very explosive anger rage, and you kind of lose your how do you say that? You can't focus as you can't make
attention
better
span.
Yeah, your
Are you sure you still don't have that?
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm joking.
No,
you're right.
No, seriously, I'm sure like it, because there's times I wake up and I'll see blurry. I'll see like that still happens to this day. I'll look at like the street lights at a certain time. It's like real fucking blurry at some times. I'm like, what the fuck? Especially if
you
I
boxed
stay
for
up.
a long time, no? I mean,
well, I got shot in the head. I think.
No.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
That'll do it. That'll do
that's
it.
next level.
Yeah. I got hit in the head, so that was
Oh, I thought you meant a shot, a load on your head. Somebody shot a load on your head.
Hey, but you guys remember that wrestler? That wrestler, Chris Benoit. This guy. He fucking killed his family and then offed himself.
Yeah, you don't have to go. You don't have to go that far. The Edwin Valero himself. That's what he did to his wife.
Did he kill him?
Yeah, he was crazy.
Well, that's people rumored that someone else killed. Set up to make it look like he killed him.
Yeah, that was Stu.
You know
Stu
what
said
happens?
that.
You know what happens? Okay, this is what happens. I'm not saying that it happens with most because I'm not a doctor. I'm not sure. So, you go through the depression phase. You feel like scared of everything, like vulnerable, right? That's the concussion syndrome. So you're like scared of everything. You over exaggerate shit, right? You almost like hallucinating. And then you go to the anger stage. Like you're tired of being scared. Now you're fucking, like you're making up for lost times. Your anger is like it's on overdrive, and then it goes like into overdrive, and then you like overreact, bro. You like ready. Somebody looks at you the wrong way, you knock them out. You're fucking
snappy and shit.
Yeah.
Recognize. I got one before I fucking got in a scrap at Milwaukee somewhere, and it was all icy out and shit, and I fell. We were on this dude's porch, and I fell, and I cracked the back of my head on the steps, bro.
Oh yeah, that's fucked up right there.
What I think what happened with Valero was this: he was like a national hero at the time because he was a boxer world champion. Then he killed his wife, which must have been an innocent, beautiful woman, because this guy was crazy. And then he went to jail, and they assassinated Valero. He was hung. He didn't hang himself, but they did it like
with him.
They did it because they were kind of. He was his hero at first, but then he became infamous. And they turned on him inside the jail. They killed him.
U.S. didn't sanction any of his. They didn't want to give him a license because he had Hugo Chavez's tattoo front and center on his chest.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
Trump just fucking staged a coup in Venezuela. They finally got to their oil. That's what they've been trying to do.
Wait a minute, was it Trump or was this plan put in place like 14, 15 years ago?
A long time ago for sure, yeah, but they finally succeeded. They
had a coup before with Hugo Chavez, 2003, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was 2002.
Yeah, but that was
didn't they like kidnap somebody from his family or him? Was it?
They kidnapped him. Yeah, but then the soldiers, because they were loyal, they let him go basically.
Wow.
Yeah, but
you gotta kind of wonder why Hugo Chavez died too. He was kind of young, wasn't he?
They all get cancer, if you notice. He got cancer. The person from the Philippines I think he got cancer too, right?
Yo, Bucho, he had the cancer thing. You know the cancer thing.
That one thing over here, yeah.
He had the cancer thing.
Yeah,
that's code word for we took care of him.
Exactly, yeah.
BDA makes complete sense.
Yeah, precisely.
I just had a quick question. You could say no, obviously, if you want, but Michael Stott asked me if I could ask you to unblock him, so I figured I would, but it's completely up to you.
Listen, I got no problems with him anymore. I don't even remember how the whole fucking. Well, actually, I do remember how the whole scene started.
Stu got into some shit.
Exactly, but listen, I don't mind.
He asked me to.
Listen, I don't mind the guy.
He's asking everyone apparently.
Yeah, he's cool people, man. He's chill.
Yeah. I'm just saying, he asked me to ask you, so I'm asking you. I mean, if Low Place gets second chances, and come on.
Exactly. I completely agree. I completely agree with you.
Hey, is that dude? Dude still blocked?
no.
Actually, I would love to.
My son.
Sometimes I wanna bring him back.
Your son?
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
Regarding Scott, hold on. Let's stay on topic here. Hold on, let's stay on topic. So, Bucho, what do you? Because you're the other half of the BDA organization. What do you think? You tell me.
I don't. Man, the guy was a bit unhinged, man. We were talking about Islam.
Yeah, but who isn't here?
Chat. I don't know. I'm gonna talk to Stu as well, though.
Oh, come on.
Listen, I rather have Stu than have that guy. I mean, seriously.
I'm not saying let him on the show or anything. Just
Yeah, how about
maybe he can linger in this chat.
Yeah, why don't we just at least
I think
let him?
that's what he's asking for. He said to me that all he wants to do is just talk on the chat. That's it.
Yeah, why the fuck not?
Who's this? Hamad?
No, not him. No, fuck no.
That's racism, bro. Come on.
Hey, yo, precise. He called you PP.
Yeah. He made a comment about you. And he made a comment about you on Bruce Bane's comment section.
No. Yeah. Ahmed.
He called you PP.
Great insight.
I already forgot about the dude, man.
Yeah.
Great insight as always from Hamed.
Holding a grudge against Precise. That's so stupid, man.
Yeah.
But remember, Hamed says he schooled him during their debate, so...
Yeah.
I mean, there's that, right?
Just has to remind everybody what happened, I guess.
Remember when he wanted to...
because he can't accept what other people think.
Yeah.
That to him is what really offends him. You know, he can accept what other people think.
Okay, somebody hold on.
What he says and he thinks is what's gotta be. That's bullshit.
It's called a bigot, Gonzalo. That's called a bigot.
Yeah, that's called it what
I
it is.
didn't even have a problem with the dude. He went after me because I scored Pacquiao Mayweather for Pacquiao. He just lost his shit because of that. Come on, man.
He said he didn't watch the fight either. So I don't understand.
He fell asleep. It was so boring. He fell asleep.
Right.
So it's like, come on, man. Why do you even have an opinion?
Let me tell you something. This show, ever since we started this show, I've encountered more crazy people than I have in my whole lifetime, man. I'll just put it that way. Really, the internet is full.
The internet's the best. It's like Boxing Style. So I'm about to blow this internet up.
Hey, what happened to Boxing Style, by the way? Oh shit, people dropped out. What happened to Boxing Style? I haven't seen him in a while.
Well, he claims he's on vacation, but I wonder if he's offended that he was highly voted for to get kicked off.
I don't think the guy's a classic
from Bronner Pacquiao still probably. He went for the fight.
Oh yeah, right. Bro. He might be in jail.
Oh, didn't he have court coming up?
No.
I think
that's Boxing Junkie.
Yeah.
Oh,
hey, you guys, are most of you on your cell phones or something?
Yeah.
I'm on. Me too.
All right. Well, check this out. Because whenever I'm on my cell phone and people drop off, I'm usually one to drop off. Tonight I'm on my laptop and I haven't dropped once. I don't know if that's related, but
there's probably a cell phone thing. I keep fucking dropping out too.
Yeah. Not once did I drop.
I'm on my cell phone today, and I haven't dropped off not one time. I mean, that's usually when I'm using my cell phone, I'm one of the first to go.
I've dropped more times than a crackhead looking for a rock in a carpet.
Oh. Same here. I was gonna blame it on white privilege, but I see it's not that.
Man, my privilege.
It is white privilege.
I'm still waiting for mine to get doled out.
By the way,
here it's too.
They said that I'm too tan skin for white privilege. That's what they told me.
I get my check every month.
Hey, Precise, are you Jewish, Precise?
Precise, you're the same complexion as me.
Hey, don't go there, bro.
I apologize.
Hey,
Precise,
guys.
Yeah, you're the same complexion as me. How come you get it and I don't?
Before we go, because we have to cut this.
Not right.
Before we go, we have to cut this short. I have a story here. You know, I always try to keep this show topic fresh. So there was this woman in Switzerland who murdered her newborn baby and stuffed it inside a teddy bear. She's from Switzerland, and she killed the baby because she claimed she was panicking because her boyfriend. I bet it wasn't really her boyfriend. It was the guy who shagged her. And it was a one-night stand, but she wanted to get he wanted her to have an abortion, and she panicked when she started going into labor. So she beat her newborn baby to death. Well, lo and behold, over there in Europe, you know how they're doing things over there. They gave her a whopping 1-year sentence. So I just want to show you pictures of this girl, and you tell me what's up with her. Look at the pictures here of the girl. She's 23. She's a 23-year-old tenderloin. Real nice looking.
She didn't do nothing.
But look at this.
Damn.
Look at those knockers.
Wow.
No, she could have free, man.
She could have.
That's the reason why. That's the reason why she's free.
Exactly.
Thank the judgment.
Some bullshit.
She got on her fucking knees ASAP.
She already knew the drill. She already knew the drill. Like, she killed the baby. She's like, all right, so you want me on my knees or you want me on my ass out?
Right.
Like, how do you want me? Like,
face down, ass up.
Yeah, because any chick who slaughters her fucking newborn wouldn't fuck you over.
Exactly. Exactly.
Somebody had to stuff her into the fucking dirt.
Hey, at least you didn't have triplets or something, you know.
God damn.
Oh man, but yeah, look at. Did you see those
space in the teddy bear to stuff all three of them?
Gee, you guys are heartless, man. You guys are heartless. But did you see her knockers? She could have fed 3 babies with those knockers. Look at that. My goodness gracious.
And you said she put the baby's remains in a teddy bear?
Yes. Oh, and here's what the judge said. Here's what the judge said, justifying the lenient sentence. She said, well, because she was in a time of crisis and emergency. And so we got to take that into consideration. What the fuck does that mean?
Sounds about right.
All right, so we don't give you the death penalty.
Yeah.
Now get up on D-block, you fucking douchebag. Go braid some fucking 300-pound sister's hair.
Oh. Whoa.
Hold her belt loop, you
Are you trying to give me a
douche.
hard on there, Jimmy? With that image? Yeah, I mean, come on.
I love that. I don't know if any of y'all ever seen that True Detective with McConaughey and Woody Harrelson, bro. I love when that broad killed her baby in there, and he's like,
"Oh, spoilers, man! What the fuck?"
People who hurt kids in prison get treated real bad, so you ought to just go ahead and kill yourself now.
Dude, that ain't lying. I've already let it be known. Back in the day, I worked at a prison. It was a few times because the sister prison, where Framingham wasn't far away. Sometimes I pulled duty there. They are the nastiest. You think men are bad, and I'm talking like it was a guy, Dennis Day, was in there for slaughtering. I can't remember how many people. Plus, he killed like 5 more people in there. But these women were so ruthless. And if you were a woman and a baby killer, you were in PC. Plus, their PC was different. Like it was on video way before the men's were. It was crazy. Their women would toothbrush your ass up if you hurt a child. That was crazy.
Hey, I believe you, Jimmy. I believe you, man. I was in youth authority, right? I was in fucking I was in laundry detailing and shit. Hey, bitches in there, man, they're fucking disgusting. I'm talking about disgusting, man. They are fucking horny as fuck. They would send us their underwear and shit and fucking.
Listen,
man, fuck that.
We used to transport guys, right? You know the vans you see going from court to the jail, right? In the back of that, when you open up the doors, right? You know how there's a grate down the middle, so the inmates, of course, are chained up, but they still can see each other through the grates. Dude, we've had to pull over because girls are trying to suck guys' dicks. They got their dicks against the grates, and the girls sticking their tongue through the little hole. Just the guys like, hurry up! What's that? What's that? No, because
that's a bad thing.
But
were you complaining?
But we had to do something because it was our job. But I mean, plus they were skanks anyway. I mean, nasty. I wouldn't have fucking. I'm like, really? And the thing is, right? The guy who was doing it was there for a fucking Dewey or something. He was going to be there for the weekend. It's not like this guy was going, you know what I mean? It's like he's probably got fucking wife and kids at home, and this chick's begging him. Like this chick's probably doing 2 life terms in Framingham for murder. Let me suck your dick, bro. Just stick it against the grate. All right. Yeah, no.
Wait a minute, isn't that,
dude? It was crazy. It was nuts.
Are you sure that was a woman, or was that Max Kellerman talking to Andrew Ward?
Right.
Hey, but Jimmy, let me ask you this. Because Jimmy, in jail, in prison, guys, they slash each other's faces usually, right? It's a common thing.
Well, it depends. A slash in a face.
That means you're lame.
Yeah, it could depends on, like, listen, there's different things. County, you're going to deal with a lot of youngsters, a lot of loud kids screaming in the middle of the night, whacking their cells and shit. Then you go upstate, you're going to go deal with what's called convicts, guys doing 15, 20, 30 years. They don't want their world disturbed. So if the knuckleheads show up, they usually end up getting a pillowcase beaten or they're put in line. But like if you're white, you're with the whites. I'll tell you, it's so like, listen, prison breaks it down to you live in 24-hour terror, broken up by momentaries of fucking sheer just insanity. I mean, these guys, and it's alpha male at its strongest, and it becomes tribalized, whether you want or not. And I'll tell you the funniest thing, when you see the fucking kids, I use the term wiggers, right? The kids who were on the street fucking thinking they're black, and they come into the fucking jail. Oh my God. And see what happens, they come into jail. Now the whites want nothing to do with them, right? And the fucking white kid thinks the blacks are going to hang with him. Oh. And he goes, next time you see him, the kid's all lumped up, his eyes are jacked up, he's asked to check into protective custody because he doesn't fit in with nobody. And jail's not a place you want to be. You know what I mean? Not fitting in. And it's just weird. They just tribe up. So the slash in the face can depend. Like the Aryan Brotherhood does that as a mark of like a shame. And then is that, you know what I mean? What's that?
So basically in the juvies, you find a lot of people like Teofimo Lopez. And in the big time, you find a lot of Kovalevs.
Yeah. No, not necessarily. It depends on county, state, juvenile hall, youth camps, etc. The thing is, like with us, it's like with Southern Hispanics or whatever you want to call it, Southern Mexicans, whatever you want to call it. It's like there's. What's up?
Sorry, I was going to say the MA, man, they run. Oh, you want to talk about?
Oh yeah, listen, that's
no
something right there. That's something right there.
Yeah, no matter what race you are, listen, the Mexican mafia run the California prison system.
I don't even know what the fuck that is. Matter of fact, I won't even mention that name. I don't even know what the fuck that is.
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? So first and foremost, it's like with like that's what I tell a lot of people, man, that use that N-word. You know what I'm saying? Like the Mexicans that use the N-word, I call them niggas because they get a reality check when they hit the county or anything in that matter because they go in and what's up my N, you know? Ooh. And that's when reality kicks in. Like, what do you mean? Hold up, N? Hold up, you in the wrong tank, homie. You gotta go over there.
Yeah, nope, you're 100%
you know what I'm saying?
right.
And then they get kicked out. And here's another thing: like a lot of people think that see, like black folks don't check paperwork. See, like if you're a white inmate, you have to go in and you turn in your 128G, which is your paperwork. You turn that in to the key holder, whoever has the tank. You turn it in, and he verifies. He checks your whole jacket since juvenile hall all the way to YA, all the way up to whatever, you know. And then he verifies whether you're good to stay in that tank or not. It's the same with Mexicans. Blacks don't do that because blacks believe in the numbers. Blacks believe in having stronger numbers. That's why you can find, people that commit pedophilia or people that do shit like that, rapists or things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? But that does not fly in other races. I don't even think Puerto Ricans accept that shit. But the blacks are the only inmates in the United States that do not check paperwork. So they have a lot of garbage on the yard is what they call it. But I mean, that's not here nor there. I don't even think that's a matter that we should even be touching on this fucking platform.
You're 100% right. Actually, here in Massachusetts, they ended that practice. Like guys weren't allowed to carry their forms because of that. But I'll tell you right now, they knew. Like I would show up, and the inmates they knew before I did who was coming on. They knew the dude's charges.
Oh yeah, you see him on TV. You in the day room, you see them. You know he's gonna roll up.
You know, exactly. And so, the thing is, too, where I worked at Susan Baranowski it was Supermax. So these guys were on, most of them, the hard ones, were 23-hour lockdown, all electronic. I mean, they got out just to shower. It was really, movement was very little because they were.
You could tell a lot about an inmate just by his shirt. You know, by the shirt he's wearing. Like if his neck is all loose, you know he's lame.
Right.
You know, it's a variety of things. If he shows up, he's shaved. He's got a clean haircut. His boots are clean. You know, he's in good standing.
I just
right away. You know,
I'll tell you how I got along in there. What I did was this: I would find whoever was the fucking pod boss. I would get with him. I'd say, "Listen, you make my job easy. You take care of the shit. Keep this place clean. Don't blow smoke into the vents where I have to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Don't blow smoke into the vents so I have to deal with you. Do shit smart." And you won't hear from me. And I'll tell you, those guys, that you know what I mean? That's how you do it. If you go in there, these guys go in there with their shaved heads and they're going to teach these kids. It's like, dude, they have 24 hours a day to fuck with you. Show them respect and they show you respect. That's how I deal with it.
Well said. Now, listen, Jimmy, I had the reason why I asked about the slashing in the face is because, I don't know, when I read cases of women, especially fat women, ugly women, ganging up on good-looking women, they always go for the face. they always try to disfigure the pretty girl's face, and I don't know if it's a it's a subconscious thing about the ugly girls being jealous and all that. So I was just curious if maybe in female prisons
it's the same thing.
Yeah,
think about it. It's genetics. I mean, it's probably nature. Because look what lions do. When lions fight a lion, what are the first thing they do? They rip the other dude's balls off if they win. So that's probably the same thing. They want to make the girl ugly. But I'll tell you right now, blonde girls, Barbies, don't do well in jail.
I would expect
do well because if the you know what I mean, they have to be because what happens? They'll just become somebody's bitch quick.
Jimmy. So what are you saying that the LDBC goes for the balls? Hey, but check it out. Hey, it was a fucking badass fucking being on the show, man. Thank you guys for having me. I gotta get ghost, man, because I think it's raining. I gotta go cover my lowrider.
Yeah, we gotta go.
Peace out,
brother.
See you, Zapata.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for being on. Yeah, on that note, we do have to go. So I just want to thank everybody for joining us. And we had a couple of good fights. We'll probably come back. Bucho, what's on for next week?
Shit, I don't have my
Davis.
Tank
Davis. Rivera.
All right, so nothing then.
Pay-per-view coming up too soon? No, that's a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah.
See, some people spoke too soon. Tank Davis, Abner, is injured. His next opponent's going to be Fortuna. Doubt that very much.
I think it's Little Santa Cruz fight, no? That next week.
Yeah, you got Santa Cruz fighting too. He's fighting somebody else.
Well, as you can see, none of us know anything here. But thanks for being on. I want to thank everybody that was in. Oh, yeah?
Can I ask you a question really fast?
We have to go, man.
All right, next time.
Yeah, save it. Don't forget it. Don't forget it. Okay. Save it for next time, Gonzalo.
Next time, yeah.
All right.
Later.
Don't forget, man.
All right, no.
All right, because I'm gonna call you out on it.
See you guys.
All right, so I want to thank.
See you later, Bucho. Recognize.
Want to thank everybody that was here,
man.
Yeah, peace out, y'all.
Johnny, later.
Later,
all right, man.
Take care, brother.
All right, Jimmy. Peace out, bro.
All right, guys. Be safe, gentlemen. Everybody. BDA, thanks for having me, buddy.
Always, man.
Bucho, you too, brother. You guys be safe. God bless.
You too, man.
BDA, Bucho, peace out.
All right. So I want to thank everybody that was here. We had Recognize. We had Cameron for a short while. Apology. Gonzalo. Precise. Johnny Boy. Zapata Boxing. Who am I forgetting here? Recognize, I said. Bucho, who am I forgetting, man? Am I forgetting anybody?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, come on.
Cameron.
I said Cameron. I said Precise. Anyway, I think I mentioned everybody. So thanks a lot, guys, for joining us. I want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat room as well. Chris Gonzalez, Grievous, Overhand, DB, Rotti Davis, Karan Bread, Shepherd of Sons, Guerrero de la Info, The Punisher, You Can Do It, Corky, Jason Bourne, Cachnello Give Me My Fight was here as well, Karan Bread, Pop Tart Gun, Hulker Mustang, John Gonzalez was here as well, Corruption in Boxing was here for a while as well, many more people as always, can't name them all, Box 88 as well. So thanks again for being on. Don't forget to check out BDA Live and BDA. We did post a Mikey Garcia Errol Spence video, another one at BDA Live, so check it out if you haven't already. Don't forget to check out our Patreon page or PayPal account where you can donate and keep the gravy train rolling. And that's about it, guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you on the next one, folks. Take care.